All right, OBS says we are live, so I am going to believe it. Hello everyone and welcome to the stream. Today we're going to talk about how Western politics ruin modern gaming and journalism. It's a video essay by ENDYMIONtv. I'm interested to see how that happened, or if it even did happen, you know? Maybe it didn't. Maybe I'm just assuming that this person is 100% right. Who knows? We will find out together. So let's dig into it.
What's up everyone, it's Endymion. In this video, I want to talk...
Endymion, okay. So I already said their name wrong. Already learning a lot in this video. Endymion, not ENDYMION or whatever I said originally. Endymion. Remember that. It'll be important when we refer to them later.
Talk about the state of the modern gaming industry and how the modern audience curse is creeping its way into the halls of gaming websites. This video will be full of harsh criticism, hot takes, and brutal honesty.
Oh, that's what I'm here for, baby. I love the harsh criticism. Hot takes are actually what I want to hear the most of. So let's get some brutally honest hot takes. I hope to learn something new from you. Here, a take I haven't heard before. That'd be great.
Before we dive in, let's hear from the sponsor of this video, HelloFresh.
Alright, well that's not the best way to start it. Not really getting me that interested. Just saying there's gonna be hot takes and saying my hot takes is that I'm sponsored by HelloFresh. Not super exciting way to start. For eagle-eyed of you who've actually been watching me recently, you'll notice I'm on a completely different build on my samurai. Looking a little bit more knightly. Got these two blades. What gives? Well, I recently got the Moonveil blade, and so I really wanted to do a more of a intelligence build once I got the Moonveil blade, because I hadn't used Moonveil before. And so I did a respec while I was gone, you know. Didn't want to do it while on stream because I thought it was pretty boring. So hopefully this does good. I got myself an Uji Katana, I got a Moonblade, and what is it? Oh, so I have. Yeah, I guess I'll show some of the skills as I fight, but you'll see me doing lots of different things. It's not just gonna be bloody slashes all day long now. Well, let's go into the HelloFresh sponsorship.
If there's one thing that annoys me, it's large groups of people and supermarkets, and that...
It's one thing that annoys me. Before you actually talk about the video, you just start freaking going into your sponsor. That annoys me. You know. I do appreciate the use of your boy, Mike Stolklasa there, though. Big fan of Red Letter Media, so I'm always happy to see them popping in places.
And I'm lazy when it comes to cooking. HelloFresh, however, feels like the cheat code I've been missing in my life for so long. Their food comes in sealed, always fresh packaging, along with easy...
Just pausing a little bit, trying not to use their entire thing. You know, I just don't want to be stealing their content, you know? Even if it is an ad. I don't want to just let it run without me saying anything.
Step-by-step instructions that are so simple to use, even a dummy like me can do it.
A dummy like you? Is this Mike Stolklasa who made this video? That would be wild. Alright, let's see if we can. I already forgot how to use the Moonveil's ability, as you saw there. I'm a genius. There we go. I remembered. You gotta hit the weapon art button, and then you gotta attack. That's how you do it. Got ourselves a
You can also
flamberge.
choose from recipe categories like quick meals for those of you always on the go. There's also family-friendly options and calorie-smart diets too, which are perfect.
Just a stupid point here. If it's quick meals for those always on the go, if you're always on the go, you're not gonna be cooking at home. So, yeah, dude, you're already bad video, already taken down, already destroyed with facts and logic.
For me, since physical fitness is so important to my daily life. One of my personal favorites is the Italian-inspired beef burgers, which is a no-brainer for me because I'm always looking to bulk up.
Okay, so not only is he Mike Stolklasa, but he's also, what was that, Vegito? Man, this dude's got a lot of different faces that he puts on.
Plus, hamburgers are tasty too. With a flexible meal plan and dozens of choices available, HelloFresh really is the industry leader in making sure your diet stays healthy and affordable. And there's no stress either, since you can alter or cancel your plan at any time with no strings attached.
Sure.
Use my code HelloEndymion for up to 20 free meals.
Hello, Endymion. Anybody who wants a HelloFresh, use that, I guess. Why not?
You get a bunch of tasty food, and you'll help support the channel as well. I mean, what's not to love? So head on over to HelloFresh and get your diet in order. Remember to use my code HelloEndymion and enjoy. Your tummy will be happy that you did.
Alright, cool. Hopefully we are through that, and we're actually going to hear the hot takes. So far, no hot takes. We were promised hot takes. Minute and a half in, 0 hot takes. So let's get to them, huh?
Thanks again to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video, and now let's begin.
Yay.
When I was a fresh-faced high school graduate, one of my dreams was to work at IGN.
Okay, so one thing I already don't like, when people, I mean, I guess stories can bolster your point, but individual stories, I don't really give too much of a shit about. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just my personal preference. I personally don't really give a shit about your sob story or whatever. So, I'm hoping this story is extra relevant to his point here. Even so, one story doesn't really prove any point, but hoping that it's at least relevant. A lot of times they aren't. Let's go.
And cover video games. I wanted to talk to developers and learn how my favorite entertainment media.
Well, look, dude, you're doing it all on your own. Man, you made it. You did it. I'm very proud of you. Look at all these. Oh my god. Okay. Yep. Alright, we got a crit on one. Let's see if we can get it. Nope. Can't. Oh, okay. Alright, alright. We're taking a little bit of damage here. They're hurting each other, though, so that's a good. That didn't get him? Oh shit, something else hit me. What the hell? Where did that guy come from? Jesus.
Was created. I mostly just wanted to be one of those game journalists that had the opportunity to share their opinions about things they loved so much and make a living off of it.
Well, look at you now, dude. You got 196,000 subscribers, 238,000 view video, dude. You're doing it. I'm proud of you, my friend.
But as time has gone on and the industry has changed, I look back at that innocent dream and I cringe so hard I sometimes want to slap myself for ever thinking that way.
Well, I don't know. Does what he's doing here count as journalism? It's an opinion piece, but couldn't that just be like an op-ed, kind of? Maybe I don't know the definition of journalism. But like a lot of people who work at IGN just spitting their opinions. He even said spitting his opinion. I mean, that's what he's doing. So I don't really know why he's going to start cringing at the idea of doing that. It sounds like that's exactly what he is doing. So, I don't know. Just an odd take there. That he cringes at the idea. I guess it's just the idea of working for IGN? Maybe. I'm not the biggest fan of IGN. I used to watch, what the fuck was the name of the podcast? Game Scoop, yes. Because I liked a couple of people that were on it, but generally I don't really go to them for news or journalism. So maybe that's the part he's cringing at. But I don't know, it sounds like he's actually just based on the title of this video and what he said is going to be in it. It sounds like he's doing the thing he's talking about he was cringing at. But, you know, give yourself a little credit, dude. You're out there, you're doing it.
The IGN I used to love has become a shadow of its former self.
Okay, yeah, so he's just saying IGN sucks now. That might be true. I don't know. I never followed IGN too much, so maybe they're just complete fucking shit when they used to be amazing. I don't know. I never was into them.
As have many other gaming websites. I remember religiously scrolling through places like Kotaku or GameSpot for news about every new game, and these days...
I'm just gonna pause it while I'm fighting these a little bit. Because I am not gonna be paying attention to what he's saying. Still considering, or still talking about his sob story about how he wanted to be a journalist, and now it's like cringe or whatever. Let's kill these crazy ass scythe wielding lion things. Alright, cool. Got him. Summer Smithing Mill, Beast Blood, Old Fang. Alright, let's get the other one. We can do it. Oh, you know what I want to do? We can do this. Huh? See? Huh? Doing crazy stuff here. Alright. Yep, now let's go after him. Hell yeah. Get got, son. Uh-oh. I don't know how this thing just all of a sudden rolled down here, but we should be able to handle it. Because that thing's gone now. Yep, we got your stuff. Cool. This guy wants some too. Not doing so good on the mana. So, alright, we managed to miss it. Did a little panic rolling, but you know, we got there. Fuck. I've been trying to look for the health thing. Alright. I am gonna heal because I have a feeling nothing might catch me and just fucking murder me. Yep, with that. See? I knew it was gonna happen. I'm bad, so I knew I would get caught. It's not enough to kill me though, because I healed. I prepared. See, if you prepare to be bad at things, then it's almost like being good. God damn, that didn't feel like that should have got me. How far did freaking hitbox on those things, man? I'm not doing good against this guy. I think I might cheese him a little bit. I do have a this. So we can actually do a casting. Shoot that at it. That did almost no damage. So maybe we'll go back to what we were doing. Cool. I'm doing great so far. Already enough to where the grab will kill us. God damn it, the fire guy. Okay. We need that guy to... We really need this guy to not shoot at us while we're fighting this thing. So we're just gonna go over here. These on it, and that. Are you serious? You can do that while I'm up here? You suck. Why is this thing so annoying, huh? So maybe I could cheese it. I got a glintstone pebble. Might be able to cheese it a little. Where'd it go? Casting pebbles at it? Huh? No? The weak gamer I am. Get them all out of health potions. That's a pebble or two. Now this is what's called being good at the game. See? This is how you show you're real good at video game. Right, we should only need one more pebble on it. Once it stops running. Okay, if you could just target it. There we go. Look! Still elite gamer. Still elite gamer. Plan to be bad. It's almost like being good, I tell you what.
Days, if I'm being honest, most video gaming websites are dead to me. And I don't seem to be the only one, since this year especially, the tech industry has seen record levels of layoffs across the board.
I don't know. Are video game websites part of the tech industry? I don't. If people say tech industry to me, I mean, I'm a software engineer. I'm thinking they mean, like, I don't consider. I'm sure IGN has engineers on it, but I don't think there's that many engineers working at IGN. You know, like I would think that a tech company would be one that is primarily engineers. Maybe not like the majority of it, because like Amazon has, they have a lot of factory workers and just HR people, all the corporate stuff. But at least like a large chunk would be some kind of technology, either an engineer or, I don't know, a technician or something like that. And I would think IGN is not even close to that, or Polygon or any of that. I'm sure they have engineers that work there. I don't know. So I don't know if the tech layoffs have anything to do with gaming journalism. I don't know if IGN and Polygon and all them have actually faced a lot of layoffs. Ew, indeed, Pyro. Ew, indeed. So maybe I'm the one out of touch. I also don't pay attention to the news, so there's that. We got him, boys. Are any of these things? None of these things are gonna give me a health potion, are they? So I might go explore up where that dude was, and actually just go back to the site of grace. Because I'm dying, and then we can come back and explore this way. I'm dying. City of Ad. Yes, City of Ad, indeed. Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know that the tech layoffs has anything to do with the problem he's supposed to be talking about.
Sites like CNN, Vice, BuzzFeed, and more are all having layoffs.
CNN is definitely not a tech company. Vice, BuzzFeed, I wouldn't consider them tech companies either. Them having layoffs, sure, that might go into... Well, actually, those would be relevant to what he's talking about. I don't know. Maybe I'm just nitpicking the term tech company. The tech layoffs I was thinking of was like the massive layoffs that Amazon... I don't know if Google's done it so much, but a lot of tech companies recently have been laid off. Yeah, so let's go this way, because this is where that horrible monster that almost killed me was. And we can go explore this way, and then go heal up again, and then continue exploration.
In staggering numbers. And as you know, the Game Awards just happened, which is the night the industry comes together.
This video is about a year old, so he's not actually talking about the most recent. He's actually not even talking about recent layoffs, which I thought this year was worse for layoffs than last year, but maybe I'm tripping. And the Game Awards he's talking about is not the ones that just happened here. It's last year's. This video came out 1 year ago. So, did you hear about companies like Rockstar flirting with the idea of charging their games per hour? No, I didn't hear about that, but that sounds awful. I know Unity, the like game engine thing, was talking about charging people per download. So they would charge... I don't remember exactly what the model was, but it basically meant that the game companies would have to charge people who downloaded their game every time they downloaded it. Or something like that. And it received a heavy backlash. I wouldn't be that surprised if they were looking for something like that. They're always looking for new subscription models or new ways to monetize things. So it's not surprising. I wouldn't pay hourly for a video game. Especially, like, if it was on, like, an offline one, there's literally no reason to pay hourly, because it's just, like, what is the thing? Like, you already developed it. Okay, so this doesn't look good either. Yeah, so we're going straight bitch mode. Oh, look, there's a troll up there. We're going straight bitch mode, and we're gonna go hide. Or not hide, we're gonna go heal. So many ways to go in this castle right now, though, so I don't know. Can I just port back now? Yes, I can.
To celebrate the best of video games in one mega event. But as the glitz and glamour of the Game Awards happened and world premieres were being shown and champagne was flowing into the glasses of the industry's finest...
Yeah, I don't know if I have like a huge... Sorry. I got a little bit distracted by what I was doing here. Yeah, I don't know if it makes... I don't know if it's like a huge problem for us to still be celebrating like the things that the Game Award or the game industry accomplished, even if it's experiencing layoffs. Like, I don't know if there's like a huge hypocrisy there. That's what it kind of seemed like he was pointing at. I get his point. We're just like, oh, you're celebrating why people lost their jobs. It's just like, yeah, just because there's something bad happening within an industry doesn't mean there aren't things to celebrate, I guess. It would be nice. I don't know if they did. I don't watch the Game Awards. But it would be nice if they maybe mentioned something about that if, like, the industry faced a lot of big layoffs recently and they're just there to celebrate. There should be like, you know, along with our celebration, we should acknowledge that bad shit be happening. Look at that. Isn't that scary? We're not doing that yet. Fuck that.
Another news story broke the same day when everyone was supposed to be in celebration.
Well, yeah, the Game Awards definitely isn't going to comment on breaking news. So if a news story broke the day of the Game Awards, I would never expect... In fact, I think it would be probably journalistic malpractice for them to start commenting on it the day a news story broke, because almost certainly not all the information is out, and that... I don't know, that just seems like it would be really disgusting and weird. I really don't like people who comment on breaking news because most of the time they're completely full of shit and just make shit up on the spot. So I would hope the Game Awards wouldn't do that. But yeah, it is. There is a bit of a weird thing there where it's just like, okay, we're supposed to be celebrating and bad shit is just happening within the industry we're supposed to be celebrating. So, don't disagree there. What is that mark that's way out there? You see that? Oh, it's like way the fuck over there. Oh, right. I remember I have to, there's a cave that I was going to go explore at some point. Gotta go back there and explore that cave. I remember. Alright, let's keep moving.
Celebration. And that story is that there were actually layoffs at IGN, the biggest video gaming website on the planet. In the worst timing imaginable, IGN's parent company Ziff Davis decided to lay off their own employees the same day as Game...
Well, also, the Game Awards isn't supposed to be celebrating something like IGN. You know? IGN doesn't make games. IGN just comments on games. I'm sure some of the people at IGN are on, like, I know they have councils of people who kind of pick the games at the Game Awards, so I'm sure there's some people at IGN who are contributors to the Game Awards. The Game Awards, ultimately, the subject has nothing to do with IGN. So who the hell cares? I would care, maybe the Game Awards should mention, like, hey, like, game developers are getting laid off when we're supposed to be celebrating them, but IGN didn't make any of the fucking games, so I don't know why... I mean, I guess they are part of the game industry. Well, I don't guess. They are part of the game industry. But what does that have to do with the Game Awards? There's no award for best journalist website or some shit like that at the Game Awards. Nor do I think there should be. I don't know. Just strange to try to be like, hey, we're all celebrating and like people are getting wrecked. When it's, I don't know. It's two different sects.
Gaming's biggest celebration was kicking off. The layoffs are apparently due to company restructuring and ad revenue being down across the board for not only IGN, but many of these major websites.
Well, one of the reasons ad revenue is down across the board is because everybody fucking uses ad block. If you don't want to see these websites either remain, or if you want to see these websites remain free and also keep all of their talent, you gotta disable ad block on these fucking websites. That means if you don't do that, they either have to fire people because they're not gonna be able to make money, or they have to charge you a subscription fee. If you don't like those two things, you have to fucking let the ads show up. Free is never free. I'm sorry. So it's gonna come at a cost somewhere. So either they're gonna have to reduce their overhead in whatever way they can, including layoffs, or you're gonna have to let them gain money off of the ads. So I don't know that this dude's doing it, but I see a bunch of people being really hypocritical about like bitching about things, and they're just like, yeah, disable ads everywhere, and just like, well, yeah, you're the problem. So that would be part of that. I personally just leave ad block everywhere. I do not see many ads though because I just go on YouTube most of the time, and I view which is one of the subscription models. Oh my god, that thing absolutely fucking blew. Terrible. Yeah, I just hope this guy, if he's going to complain about websites laying people off because their ad revenue's down, I hope he's not one of the people who's disabling the ads and causing the ad revenue to go down. It's fine if he just doesn't visit a website because it thinks it's garbage or whatever. But if he's constantly visiting IGN and they're just getting no money from his visits, like, you're a big old hypocrite, my guy.
That cover video games, movies, and more. But as awful as layoffs are, especially right before Christmas no less, I have to wonder if this massive restructuring of media is indicative of what's to come in the future. I mean,
okay.
Who's at fault, and most importantly, what caused all of this to happen?
Well, one cause, fucking ad block. But I'm interested to hear. Let's see. If I was gonna try to come up with some hype. Oh shit! There's a corner around there. Probably has an item. I'm gonna run by this. I don't want to fight this fucking thing again. I suck at fighting these damn things. Is there an item back here or anything? I don't see one. So we're probably okay. Damn it. No. Maybe there is. Nope, don't see anything. Okay, alright, buddy. Ah, god damn it! I'm trying to fucking roll. I'm hitting the fucking thing. There we go. We're doing it. We got it. Yeah, if I were to just guess at what's causing it, ad block, the rise of ad block, big thing. The rise of independent creators is actually the thing I would point it at the most. It seems like just one man, or one person rather, I guess, can just make $1 million business on YouTube, or multi-million-dollar business on YouTube. Like Mr. Beast, I know he's got a team of people, but I'm pretty sure, like, he runs a way bigger empire. PewDiePie isn't a big team of people, and he fucking makes way more money than IGN does. And that's I know all these people have teams of people. I'm not trying to say they don't. But PewDiePie is a pretty small operation last I checked. He doesn't have a team of, like, talent. It's just him. He's got editors or whatever, but, like, the only person on camera is him. IGN is, like, how many people show up on camera and write and make content? Actually make, like, other than the editors, how many personalities do they have at IGN? Dozens, probably, right? So, like, PewDiePie, at least in that respect, runs a much more lean operation. So a lot of these independent creators are just eating the fucking dude's lunch. IGN also, I'm pretty sure they used to, like, be pretty against, like, putting things on YouTube. I know Rooster Teeth definitely was, and Rooster Teeth's fucking getting obliterated because all their good talent left. But I know a lot of these companies are also pretty resistant to change. Like, do you think IGN has a big presence on TikTok? Probably not. Do they even have a big live streaming audience? I don't know. I watched a couple of their podcasts and they were never live streamed. Live streaming is fucking huge right now. So they are slow to adapt, and they're just bloated. I think those would be the main things that I would say. I also think ad block is part of it, and I wouldn't be surprised if, maybe a little bit to this guy's credit, there is stuff where they push an agenda maybe a little bit too much. Independent creators can totally do that too, though. So I don't know that that's a main problem with it. But IGN definitely, like, overall kind of has, I don't know if an agenda, but at least a worldview, and all their content kind of has to fit into that. So if you don't like it, you're not going to watch it. But I think that's true of all media, so I don't know why we just, like, if you watch any political creator, like, Hassan has a worldview, you know, and he definitely tries to push it. Everything he says fits into that worldview, and he just makes shit up to fucking fit into that worldview. So I wouldn't say he's any worse than, like, an IGN or a Kotaku or whatever the hell. And he's mostly independent, too. He's the only talent in his enterprise. He's got editors or social media managers or whatever other nonsense he needs to do, but marketers. Yeah, so those would be the reasons I think it's happening. Ad block and independent creators would be my main guesses. Because, like, I'll buy merch from, like, a YouTuber I watch, right? So that gets around the ad block. Who the hell is buying IGN merch? Who is, like, super amped about IGN? Like, what's the... Like, I don't know. What is it? What's the personality trait I'm showing if I wear an IGN graphic tee? Like, probably not much, right? I think nothing. If you show me... If you're wearing an IGN t-shirt, I just assume you like video games. If you're wearing a Destiny t-shirt, like, not Destiny the video game, Destiny the streamer, I bet you're, like, a liberal. And you're kind of anti-SJW, and you kind of like edgy humor. I can learn things from you that show some personality. But, like, these big conglomerates, if you're wearing a fucking Kotaku t-shirt, I might be able to guess some of your politics because Kotaku has a thing, but, like, ultimately, I don't... Like, there's too many voices at Kotaku for me to really know about that. So, I don't know, there's just less passion in it, I guess, versus one creator. But let's see if he agrees with me.
Haven't noticed, my content has changed from covering just Souls-likes to the entire industry.
I haven't noticed. This is the first bit of content that you've done. Or not that you've done, that I've watched. Sorry, I got a little distracted. But good for you, branching out. Speaking of Souls-likes, we're playing the greatest one. Yeah, I said it. I've only played like 3 Souls-like. this is the greatest one. It's my favorite, and without having played significantly more of them, I can confidently say this is the greatest one.
This has happened not because I've fallen out of love for games like Elden Ring, but because I think it's my...
You better not fall out of love for games like Elden Ring. I fucking love Elden Ring. I'm talking about Elden Ring. Doing a big ol' heckin' fire. I got it, Brady. I got it. Still.
duty to discuss and point out the fallacies of this industry that I love so much. So I'm about to say some really...
I can't remember. Maybe this doesn't actually... Oh, shit. Somebody behind me. No! He did a big charge at me. No, put down your shield. Down your shield. Bad. No shield. Alright. Kill these guys. I had a point that I was going to say, and I completely forgot what it was. And I'm fighting things. You know what? I haven't really been doing the... Is this how you do two-handed? Yeah, I haven't been doing this. I've been completely attacking wrong. I'm supposed to be attacking with, like, the dual thing. And I haven't been doing it at all. Because I'm bad at Elden Ring.
scathing stuff here, but I think it needs to be said. You see, the reason why so many of these companies are falling apart, losing revenue and entire workforces, is because they did it to themselves.
That's probably true. But I would like to see why he did it to, or how they did it to themselves. I don't know. I mean, I guess you would count, like, if the industry changed or their audience changed and they didn't adapt to it. That is somewhat doing it to yourself. You either adapt or die. So I think, yeah, they had to have done it to themselves. It's not like somebody's going to come in and fucking hold a gun to your head and say, like, hey, you're gonna ruin your website or whatever. But I hope he has some better reasons than that. And not only that, like so few of these videos that I watch do, I hope he has examples.
Let me explain. Back in the early 2010s, the gaming industry as a whole was very situated around talking about video games and having fun with discussion.
Okay. The video game industry as a whole was talking about video games. Yes. Oh shit, I think I already went through all of this, didn't I? I'm forgetting what I did and didn't explore already in my quest to try to explore the whole castle. I did go through all this. I'll just kill this pumpkin head again. He's weak sauce. He just beat my ass, but you know.
Days of shows like Podcast Beyond with Greg Miller and Colin Moriarty.
I wasn't a big fan of IGN, but I was at one point a big fan of Kinda Funny, the company that Greg Miller and Colin Moriarty, Nick Scarpino, and Tim Geddes started. Was being a very key word there. Was a big fan of them. I started going down the path of no longer being a fan of them once Colin left. And I've since kind of stopped watching Colin's content too. But that's like one of the biggest connections I have to one of these big gaming websites. Is I used to be real deep into Kinda Funny's content, and they were all ex-IGN guys. So most of what I know about IGN, although I watch GameScoop, that's about the only podcast I think I watched with any regularity on IGN, or any content. So yeah, so that's most of what I know about really big gaming websites at all actually came from them because they were ex-IGN folks. But he's saying the industry used to be about having fun with games and enjoying the discussion around them. So, I'm guessing somehow the industry isn't talking about games anymore. So, I'd be interested to see how that could possibly be the case. Because wouldn't that, by definition, mean they're not part of the games industry? Well, let's see.
For example, are what I consider to be the golden years of sites like IGN, where people of differing political stances, walks of life, and so on could come together and talk like real human beings.
I will say, yeah, so going back to the fact that I used to watch Kinda Funny a lot, and continued watching Colin for a little bit, Colin Moriarty a little bit after he left Kinda Funny. He says that all the time. He's a somewhat conservative guy. His words, not mine. And he would say that the industry was incredibly, like, one-sided politically. And he would get a lot of people, like game developers and shit like that, would reach out to him saying, like, hey, like, I actually agree with a lot of the takes you're saying, but I'm a little bit scared of the consequences of saying them out loud. When he made that joke tweet on International Women's Day or whatever that started his firestorm up, he talked about how he did have people reaching out to him in private, but most big names would not defend him publicly. And that was really disappointing to him, because the industry is so one-sided in their political beliefs. He would also talk about how he thought there was a lot of people who he was good friends with, people he'd helped throughout his career, who also attacked him a lot. And he thinks that they were just being opportunistic because he disagreed politically with them. So I might agree with the dude here, at least to some extent. It seems to be true that the video game industry, outside of like independent creators, is incredibly one-sided politically. It's not that surprising. Most creative industries are very left-wing, and I don't know if I'd say progressive, but at least left-wing, right? There's not too many conservatives in there. Ooh, I'm doing a die. Now I'm doing a live.
But as time went on, and especially around 2016, when a certain president was elected into office...
Who? Was it President Hillary Clinton? Was that the president that was elected into office? Everybody told me that's who was going to get elected. So it must have been the case, right? Couldn't have been he who must not be named, could it?
It seems like the world had just lost its mind.
It seems like the world has just lost its mind, which I might agree with him there. But if you got an essay talking about this, I don't want it to seem like it. I want you to show evidence that it is that way. The world has lost its goddamn mind. I want you to prove it to me. That's your job on this essay. I know it's just one statement, so you might go into it. But, just saying, don't want weasel words. I want statements. I want conclusions based on evidence provided. Please give me. Gimme.
And places like video game websites suddenly went from being fun and full of life to becoming gated-off communities full of vitriol, tribalism, and political correctness.
Yeah, I never felt that way in independent media. Most of the gaming media that I consume, well, all of it really, because I don't go on these big websites, is like independent. It may be a small group of guys, or guys and gals, or whatever. But it at least is, it's not a big nameless corporate or faceless corporation like IGN or Kotaku or whatever. And I definitely didn't feel that happening after Trump got elected. Okay, so this is, yeah, that's that place we were earlier. Is there anything to check out here? Yeah, that's just a descend. Okay. Yeah, so I definitely didn't feel like that was happening to any big degree. Maybe it happened on these websites. I'm hoping we get some good examples of that happening on the websites.
Gaming sites started publishing articles attacking their consumers, as well as bringing race into the discussion when it wasn't even warranted.
Yeah, maybe. Gonna need some examples of that. I think there is a lot of people who have a knee-jerk reaction when somebody wants to talk about race, like in a industry or an art form or something like that, and how like a race is represented. I think a lot of people have knee-jerk reacts saying like, "Oh, you don't need to talk about this. It has nothing to do with anything." When I don't know, it's just something that they personally think about, so they are talking about it. It's something that concerns them. Race is a fact of our everyday life, so a lot of times it can be brought up. I think there are times where it's unfair to be brought up, like in a... What the hell was the name of that game? Kingdom Come Deliverance, I think it was? A game about, like, medieval Europe, and they were saying, hey, there's, like, no black people here. Just, like, was there historically... I'm not a historian. Go ahead. Fucking correct the shit out of me if I'm wrong about this. But I'm reasonably sure there wasn't a lot of black people in medieval Europe. So there's definitely cases where it's completely unnecessary. But But I'm willing to bet, I don't know, I'm hoping he brings up examples, but I'm willing to bet a lot of the examples that he would deem unnecessary, I'd probably disagree with. Hopefully we get into some of those.
One such example was when Days Gone was being previewed back in 20.
Okay, doing a thing. I don't remember the story. Hopefully we're going to do a big old learning on this.
2019, and both IGN and Kotaku in their previews decided it was important to point out that the main character, Deacon St. John, who's played by Sam Witwer, is boring because he's a white biker guy.
Okay. Yeah. That sounds bad. I would agree. That dude, that actually, I'll be honest, doesn't... Well, I don't know. People like Sons of Anarchy. That's just a bunch of white biker dudes, isn't it? So it does sound like a pretty unfair statement. Hoping we get some quotes here to back up that that's actually what they said.
IGN's John Ryan even said, and I quote,
Yes.
"While I'll admit that I initially rolled my eyes at yet another gruff white male protagonist in a grim world, especially one with such a gruff white male protagonisty name as Deacon St. John, I ended up getting far more invested than I'd initially expected."
So isn't that the dude saying, I didn't think I'd like it because he's just like, we have a bunch of gruff white male protagonists in video games, and this is just another one? But it turns out this guy is actually really good, so I like him. Isn't that good? The dude was saying, hey, I had a bias against this because I'm just kind of sick of seeing this thing, and it turns out they did a really good job of it. What's the problem there? Like, I get that you're saying, like, oh, he brought in Brace when he didn't have to. It's just like, but his point is that there are a bunch of people who fit that exact description. There's a bunch of white protagonists in video games. Like, I don't know that he's saying it's a problem. He's just saying, like, hey, we see this, like, a similar character to this everywhere. And he's right. That doesn't mean we shouldn't see it. I don't even know that he was saying we shouldn't see it, especially because it sounded like he was like, I like this one. It helps his argument even more if he can just start, like, if you say, like, oh, there's too many male characters or male protagonists in video games. Okay, that's an argument, but that's really broad, so that's not that exciting of an argument. There's too many middle-aged male characters. We're getting more specific. If that still encompasses a huge number of protagonists, then your point is even stronger, because you're being more specific, but not eliminating that many protagonists. Now, you say, there's too many white male middle-aged protagonists in video games. If you still haven't cut out that many protagonists, your point becomes even stronger. So even, it doesn't even sound like he was trying to focus on race. He's just like, here's a bundle of descriptors that should be very specific. Like if I say I've got a white male middle-aged video game protagonist, he would like it that I'm only talking about a few people. He would like it to be like, oh, I've actually done a good process of elimination. But the reality is, he hasn't. You've got fucking Gears of War characters, you got Master Chief, you've got apparently Deacon St. John or whatever the hell his name is. You've got, I don't know, fucking everybody. Mario. I don't know if Mario's middle-aged, but I think he would fit. You've got Kratos. Actually, Kratos is probably old, but he's like middle-aged. You've got Kratos. You've got characters from all across the spectrum. You kind of have Spider-Man. Maybe he's not middle-aged. Maybe he's young. But, like, there's so many characters that fit that description, and he used so many descriptors to get to that group, and it's still a huge fucking group. So I think that makes his point that just like, hey, we've got a lot of these, so I'm getting bored of it. Perfectly strong. I don't see any problem with that. So he would just say, we got a lot of these. I've seen it. I want something new. But turns out, while this isn't particularly new, it's just really well done. And I still like it. I see no problem with this statement. And I don't think it really agrees with what you were saying. And that doesn't even have to do with politics. He just wants something that looks different. Seems like a reasonable request to me.
End quote. This sort of reader attacks would become far more prevalent and...
What was the attack on the reader there? Maybe I gotta hear that quote again. I don't remember him attacking any readers with that statement. I want to see. I don't know. Is there a way for me to get up to him? I haven't fought him yet. Oh, he's the one who jumps down. Right. Okay. Is this where I came in? I'm really trying to make sure I explore this whole thing. I think I pretty much did. Is this... Did I already go in there? I'm getting confused because I'm talking too much. I'm not paying attention to what I'm actually doing. I'm just derping. I think I already went in here, didn't I? But yeah, I don't remember any of that statement being an attack on the reader. Saying that there's a whole bunch of white male protagonists in video games, which is a fact, and that maybe he'd like to see some different people, isn't an attack on anybody. It's just a statement about how many white male protagonists there are in video games. So let's go through the quote again.
In both IGN and Kotaku in their previews, decided it was important to point out that the main character, Deacon St. John, who's played by Sam Witwer, is boring because he's a white biker guy.
Okay, so he even said he's boring because he's a white biker guy. The dude said, we're going to go through the quote again, the dude said, I thought he would be boring and he's not. Right? Let's go through the quote again while I drink.
IGN's John Ryan even said, and I quote, "While I'll admit that I initially rolled my eyes at yet another gruff white male protagonist."
Yes, so he initially rolled his eyes as another gruff white male protagonist. Initially. That doesn't mean the character sucks because he's a white male gruff protagonist. He said he wasn't excited about the prospect of it. That's what he's saying, right? So there's no insult. He's just saying, hey, we've got an army of these fucks. There's another one to add to the army. That's not that exciting. On its face, it's not that exciting. Which, definitionally, it isn't. If we have a whole shitload of these, if everyone's super, nobody is. That's basically what he's saying. If everybody is this fucking thing, that thing is not exciting. And it sounds like he did like him, so let's continue the quote.
In a grim world, especially one with such a gruff white male protagonisty name as Deacon St. John.
Yeah, I guess that's sort of an attack on white people's names. I gotta say, as a white person named Steven, I'm not overly offended by people attacking our names. Like, I'm gonna be okay. My name isn't very exciting. Deacon St. John is, I don't know, I think it's just a misfire of a joke. It's technically an attack, but it's let's not act like this is some kind of fucking huge, like, a bunch of the audience is gonna start being offended by this shit.
I ended up getting far more invested than I'd initially expected.
Yes. So he's not attacking the dude. He's saying, I didn't expect this, I had a bias against him, and I still overcame it because he's a good character. That's literally not an attack, it's a compliment. And it's definitely not attacking the audience. He's talking about the character. The only even perceived attack I could see was the name one. Let's keep going.
End quote. This sort of reader attacks would become far more prevalent.
What was the attack on the reader? He talked about the fucking protagonist the entire time. He didn't say, hey, I'm sick of all these racist fucking gamers or something. There was no attack on the reader there at all. What the hell are you talking about? He's literally just saying, it's very simple. There's a lot of a thing. That makes that less exciting. I was therefore not excited for this new character. I experienced the character and now I like it. That all logically follows. There's no racism. There's no attacking anybody. It all just makes sense.
And ridiculous, with even Kotaku at one point talking about the state of the world in politics.
Okay, let's go fight this boss while we think about what Kotaku could have been talking about with the state of the world in politics. Alright, bro. You want some? We'll fight some me and Loodle. Oof. Good damage. Okay, we're already getting hurt. Let's see, buddy. I'm pretty good against him so far. Let's go with Loodles. a G. Some more of that. Okay, there's a Crucible Knight in here too. I don't think I've even fought a Crucible Knight yet. That's fun. Yes. Yes! Get dead, nerd! Alright, so it should be easy enough. You didn't die to the get up attack. That's okay. It happens. Alright, so now we gotta fight just a Crucible Knight. Crucible Knights are fucking annoying. They later become not even bosses. Okay, yep. Not doing so good against them so far. Yep, they're coming at me. Coming at me. It's interesting, I haven't even fought... Not that I have to, but I haven't actually fought the singular Crucible Knight yet. My first experience with the Crucible Knight is in a boss fight with another character. That's interesting. Yeah. Dragon thing. I completely failed at dodging it. Yeah, we got that. It's not looking super amazing for me. I don't remember. What is my... What does it do? Yeah, doing great so far. Doing absolutely great. Still might be able to do it. I'm doing too bad. Now, that's really good. Yes, I still got it. Okay, I thought I missed. I was gonna be upset about that. Okay, yeah, you get up. Fuck. Wow, I did not know that second lash reached that far. That sucks. Yep. Come on, I am so close. Yes! Just barely got him. But we did get him. Great enemy felled indeed. Let us go. Let us. Anyway, we were talking about Kotaku, talking about the state of the world and politics or something. To get their point across. So let's listen.
During their review for the PS5. I wish I was kidding. Kotaku writer Ian Walker at one point while reviewing the PS5 just decides to turn a 180 and I quote, "But I'd be remiss to ignore all the reasons not to be excited for the PlayStation 5.
Okay, I'm gonna guess here. Didn't read this review of... I didn't read any reviews of the PlayStation 5, because honestly... I don't know, it's PlayStation. I was already gonna buy it, so I didn't need to read reviews. Unless it was actually, like, fucking breaking in half or something, which I would have heard about without reading reviews, probably. I didn't have any reason to read reviews of the PlayStation 5. But I'm gonna guess PlayStation 5 came out at the end of 2020. They're gonna talk about an impending, like, what's it called? An impending recession due to the coronavirus, and that a lot of people lost their jobs or aren't working because of the lockdowns or whatever. That's basically what it's gonna be. Or they're also, that was the year of like all the protests, the Black Lives Matter stuff that was all going on. They're going to say there's a bunch of people who are getting hurt or whatever, so they can't afford this because they're busy fighting injustices or some form of that. One or both of those are going to be the things that this person brings up.
The world is still reeling under the weight of the pandemic. There are more Americans out of work right now.
So, we got one. Pandemic, more Americans out of work. So far, nailing it.
Than at any point in the country's history with no relief in sight. Our
Sure.
healthcare system is...
Okay, so there's no relief in sight for the pandemic. We are talking about this during a PS5 review. So I want to talk about... I'm not going to talk about it yet. I'm going to wait till this guy talks, or wait till he reviews all the things that this Kotaku guy said. But I would like to get into whether or not these statements are actually relevant in a PS5 review, but let's continue with the rest of the reasoning.
Is an inherently evil institution that forces people to...
Okay. That one I want to talk about separately. Our healthcare system is inherently evil. This has zero to do with the PlayStation 5. This is just your opinion on the healthcare system. So that it literally has nothing to do with it. I get... I'll talk about... Actually, yeah, let's just continue. Let's finish with the rest of it. I want to go into it like a bigger thing, but I want to make sure I hear everything that they're saying.
To ration life-saving medications like insulin and choose ending yourself over suffering with untreated mental illness. As I'm writing this, it looks very likely that Joe Biden will be our next president. But it's clear that the worst people aren't going away just because a new old white man is sitting behind the Resolute desk. Well, at least not this old white man. Our government...
Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to go into it a little bit further. Because it sounds like they're just repeating themselves about the state of the government and shit. So, let's start first. Is it okay to bring up the fact that a lot of people wouldn't be able to buy such a thing in a review? I think that's reasonably fair. Because if you're talking about, like, right now, part of a review is, like, whether or not something is worth it, right? Like, you can say the PS5 is, like, the best fucking thing on the face of the fucking planet. If it costs $10,000, it doesn't matter how good it is. Nobody's gonna fucking buy it. So that would be part of the review. You'd be like, yeah, I love it. It's fucking amazing. It is not worth $10,000. So, if we expand that, PS5 was what, $500 at launch? 5 or 6? I can't remember. I think it was $500. I want to say it was $400 for the disc one, or the discless one, and then $500 for the one with the disc. I don't remember exactly. So, if you say, all right, is this thing worth the $500 it costs? Well, how would you determine whether or not it's worth it? To most people, because you got to be talking about most people. You can't just be talking to one person. It's like, how do I determine whether or not that's going to be worth it? Well, I got to look at the state of the world and if people would buy it over something else. So, the way I'm going to view that is through the lens of, well, right now, it's not worth it because you're almost certainly dealing with other fucking problems that are tying up your money. And this thing isn't so good that I feel like you should change your priorities there. Right? So it's not completely unfair to bring it up. The thing specifically about the healthcare system being evil, that is a complete matter of opinion that has nothing to do with the PlayStation 5. What I mean is, this would be... So if we say... Let's just say we're all consequentialists. I'm a consequentialist. I'm going to assume that the writer of this thing is a consequentialist too. So that means we think that the difference between good and evil is how much utility, or I guess we're utilitarian. I think they're closely related. I'll just use utilitarian because I'm going to start using the word utility. Okay, so we're all utilitarians. So whether or not something is good or bad, or evil in this case, is whether it brings positive utility or negative utility. And you could say it's evil compared to something else, too, because it just does less utility. So that would need to be a fact-based argument, right? So you'd have to be like, okay, this healthcare system causes undue harm, while the benefits, like it causes an immense amount of harm to a lot of people, while the benefits are really low. And you need to start bringing all of that in, right? You need to start saying, okay, well, we've got this many people who are dying because they can't afford medicine. Well, we've got this many advances in the medicine, so these are good and bad. Since we have a profit motive, we've got this advancements in medicine, but then again, that means people patent medicine and makes medicine very expensive, and so on and so forth. You need to go through all of that. All of that has absolutely fucking nothing to do with the PlayStation 5. So your opinion on whether or not it's evil has literally nothing to do with the PlayStation 5. So that's completely unreasonable for that dude to bring it in. I am with... I already forgot. Endymion? Is that how he said it? I'm completely with him there. I think it would be fair to just say, like, well, healthcare costs have risen because of the pandemic, so this becomes a harder prospect. That is something that you could just say. Like, maybe you want to cite it or whatever, but that's not like his opinion on it being evil, whereas the healthcare system being evil is like his opinion. You can back it up with objective facts, but it is, as stated there, just completely his opinion, and the PS5 doesn't affect that. So it's completely fucking irrelevant. So yeah, I'd agree with them there. But a lot of the rest is talking about, let's see, what was the next thing they really talked about? A new white man just got elected who's not going to change that. That also has nothing to do with the PS5, really. Saying it's I mean, you don't know that a white man wouldn't change all of these systems. So it is very strange to bring up the fact that, like, just because we've had white men in the past that promoted these systems that you don't like, doesn't mean a new white man wouldn't go against them or improve them drastically. So yeah, so that's also a really strange statement. Yeah, I would generally agree. I think it is okay to talk about the state of the world when you're talking about something, especially an expensive item, because you're just like, hey, this isn't worth it over the other things that maybe you should be focusing on. And just like, but if you're like really rich and don't have these problems, yeah, go for it. I think that's a totally fair statement in your review. But saying, hey, Joe Biden's gonna get elected and he won't fucking improve anything, that doesn't really have anything to do with it. And that's just bringing your own bias into things. Especially because that statement isn't logically sound.
Ooh, how did you... If you can fell, I'm Jerry. Incidentally, well, it's true that when the Star Wars Fest, the mighty...
Okay, yeah, so far a good festival.
Well, then you must serve the next time the festival of by. Bit of a hawk and funny thing, but not one of them have... When the stars are...
Okay. So, the stars haven't aligned yet. The festival's not started yet. We can't fight Radon yet. Lame. Alright, so we gotta figure out where are we going next. Complete exploration. Start the swamp from the ashtray from Caleb Highway North side. Astray? I almost said ashtray. Okay. Start the swamp from the Grace. This is just south of Tusca. Teardrop Scared that drops Ash War. Okay, so we're gonna go here. We're gonna start exploring.
Is fundamentally broken in a way that necessitates radical change rather than incremental electoralism.
Yeah, so this is talking about the political system, talking about the current state of things. Fine. People are struggling. Totally fine bringing it up when talking about making a purchase decision. Saying, hey, it's cool, but it's not worth it for most people because everybody's fucking struggling right about now. Totally fine. Saying our political system is all about incrementalism. Is that going to make me change my buying decision on the PlayStation 5? Like, what? Does that affect how good PlayStation 5 plays games? I don't know, man. Seems a little strange to me. Yeah. This is... It seems like it's way too much politics brought into this. I would tend to agree.
The harsh truth is that, for the reasons listed above and more, a lot of people simply won't be able to buy a PlayStation 5.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. Like I said, I think that's a totally fine statement. It's the opinions on our political system that don't seem relevant to this.
Regardless of supply. Or if they can, concerns over increasing austerity in the United States and the growing threat of widespread...
Okay. So, the dude justified the talking about our political system and stagnating, saying, hey, you can buy this, but you're likely not going to be able, like, eventually you're going to be poor because our political system sucks. So you shouldn't buy it still. That is a wild statement. I don't know how the fuck you would know any of that. I'm going to brag a little bit, I guess. I'm doing pretty well financially. I bought a PS5. I was not concerned about losing my ass because the political system is fucking me. and I'm just doing even better than when I bought it. I understand that that is just one thing. I am just one small data point in a sea of data. I understand this. But that dude's just talking out of his ass saying that that's going to happen. So if he's not going to bring up stats or anything, especially when I don't feel like it's relevant, I can counter with my statless conjecture as well. Yeah, it seems like a really weird, just kind of... I don't like the political system, therefore I know everything's going to turn to shit. So you shouldn't buy a PS5. Like, I don't know, man. Compare it to the state of things as it is. Don't try to make predictions about the future, especially when it comes to individual buying decisions. Like, I don't think you're in any spot to do that. I don't think any games journalist is in any spot to do that. I wouldn't mind if somebody came out with not a review of the PS5, but just said, hey, I'm concerned about the sales of the PS5 because this is where I see the country heading. Like, I think it's not going to sell very well. If like an economist or a political pundit or someone like that did that. Like, hey, here's something that's happening in our world. Here's why I think, like, oh, the game industry is about to be in a rude awakening because everybody's in a shit spot right now. That's cool. Start backing that up. But if you're talking about whether or not the thing is good and whether or not you should buy it, making predictions about the future of the thing seems or the state of the world. Maybe making predictions about the future of the console, that might make sense. But trying to predict how whether or not people who can currently purchase PS5s will be able to purchase PS5s in the future. Yeah. I don't know about that one, my dude.
Political violence supersede any euphemism about the console's SSD or how ray tracing makes reflections more realistic. That's not to say you...
Okay, so this is just saying, like, yeah, you're not gonna give a shit about the ray tracing when you're fucking poor? I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess that's true, but I don't know, is everybody fucking getting poor all of a sudden? Again, like, he's not a fucking economist, so it seems like really strange statements based on just his gut feeling. And we're what, 3 years into the PS4's or PS5's life cycle? Seems like the world hasn't collapsed. It's still selling. People are still buying. People can still afford it. It's okay. Teardrop Scared that drops Ashore and Emergent, some uninteresting consumables. Go to the swamp slightly north. Including a meteorite staff. Okay, so I didn't... Do I have that Ash of War? I didn't see the Ash of War, but it's very possible I already got it. Let me actually do this.
You can't be excited for those things. I certainly am on some level, but there's an irrefutable level of privilege attached to the ability to simply tune out the world as it burns around you.
There's an irrefutable level of privilege. Maybe there's an irrefutable level of privilege to tune out the world as it burns around you. Maybe. Oh, wait, can I look at this in my inventory? Yes, I can. Okay, I should have been doing that. I'm a big old idiot. Astral Lifesteal Fist. Let me I keep going to... Oh, these are people. I'm an idiot. Where's the Ashes of War? There we go. That's what we're looking for. Lifesteal Fist. Just make sure we got it. Doop, 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 doop. There it is. We did get it. All right, cool. So yeah, there's an irrefutable level of privilege to tune out the world while it burns around you. Yes and no. A lot of unprivileged people, while they have less, like, I guess, ability to use escapism, but that doesn't mean they have, like, they have less, maybe not ability, they have less opportunities or less ways to escape their reality. But that doesn't mean they can't do it at all, you know? I don't know that the world, at least if we're talking about from an American-centric thing, I don't know that there's so much fucking destitution that, like, buying a PS5 is, like, some wild fucking prospect. And that people who can buy, everyone who can afford a PS5 is, like, incredibly privileged. I don't think that that's the case. If it was the case, then they would, like, the PS5 is not a niche console. It's made for a mass market. So they expect a lot of people to buy it. And a lot of people have. So I don't know that what this dude is saying, like, while it's, I guess it's true, it's just like, does that apply in this situation? You're talking about a mass appeal fucking thing. This isn't, it's expensive. Don't get me wrong. $500 is a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. But that it isn't insane. It's not like only super privileged people can buy this. Your average motherfucker in the US can buy a PS5. If they couldn't, the thing wouldn't exist. Like, it's not a niche market. It wouldn't exist in the way that it does. So this seems completely irrelevant. Or, if it's not irrelevant, if he was trying to say, look, this thing that's supposed to be mass market is now niche because of how shitty everything is, he's just wrong. The thing has been selling like fucking hotcakes. I don't remember if it's still hard to get, but I'm pretty sure it's selling faster than PS4? Or at least close to as good, and a PS4 is one of the best-selling consoles ever. The Switch is $300 fucking dollars, and it's one of the most sellingest things on the fucking planet. This isn't some huge privileged thing. Maybe on a worldwide scale it is. But, like, the fucking article is in English, so it's for probably US and European audiences mostly, right? For those people, it's not some heavily privileged thing to buy a PS5. It's just not. Do you gotta save? Do some people gotta pinch their pennies? Yes, they do. Does it mean maybe you can't buy, like, you can't afford a whole bunch of games, or like, oh, you were gonna go out a bunch and you can't do that now? Yeah, maybe you gotta go out drinking. For a lot of people, that's what it means. They gotta save up for it. Like, yeah, for a lot of people, that's what it means. But that's not everyone who buys a PS5 is, like, incredibly privileged. I would say most people who do are just your average level of privilege, whatever the hell that is. Alright. So we're going to swim up slightly north to find several useful items, including meteorite staff. Alright, we're going north.
End quote. Oh my god, if this example from Kotaku doesn't spell it out for you, it's that the gaming industry as a whole has definitely...
It definitely doesn't spell out that the gaming industry as a whole is doing anything. It's one example. One example is not the same as data. You know, it just doesn't... You're going to need a bunch. Your first one wasn't good at all. Your second one is mostly good, I would say. But it doesn't prove anything. I got all the perfume stuff, so that's cool. Yeah, I don't know, like... one example doesn't prove a point. I'm sorry. I could just say, hey, Americans can afford the PS5 because I was able to. Does that prove that? No. I'm not most Americans. You know? I found an article that I thought was brought politics in for no reason. That means this is like a huge fucking pattern. No, it doesn't mean that. Your first one definitely didn't do that. And the second one did do that, but it's only one example. So I'm hoping we have more before we start claiming victory on the argument here. I don't know at what point. It's probably a valid question to ask me at what point I would be convinced. I don't know. Maybe at least do 3. And try to do it from different people, different companies, and different times. And do good ones. Because your first one wasn't good. Then I start being like, I don't know if it's a huge pattern, but it's fair enough to at least say, hey, I see this pattern. It also doesn't directly link it to ad revenue going down. Maybe he'll do that. But this isn't like some curing boluses. I don't. Actually, no. Was that it? No, that's blood loss. Blood loss, right? Yeah, maybe he'll link it to the ad revenue going down, but so far you haven't established a pattern, nor have you linked it to their ad revenue going down. That one also, I don't know that it was an attack on the readers. That one seemed to be like an attack on Sony, if anything, being like, how are you fucking selling this when everything is so shitty for everyone? Like, an attack on the reader would be like, gamers are fucking racist, gamers are sexist, gamers are, like, overly privileged and they don't recognize it. That would be attacking your readers. Neither of these did that so far. So, yeah. I hope we actually get an example of that.
They become far more politicized. And not only that, but these journalists, and I use that term loosely, all seem to be cut from the same cloth with the same ideologies as well. Besides,
one example does not prove that journalists are cut from the same cloth. Not at all. Your other example didn't talk about the state of the world or healthcare or anything. He just said, I see a bunch of people of this, a bunch of video game protagonists of this kind, so I get bored by it because I just think it's another fucking face in the crowd here. But then it turns out, oh, he was good. That has nothing to do with any of the fucking... Maybe the only connection I can see is that the dude talked about, like, oh, white man in the presidency, so he's going to be the same as all the other white presidents. Whereas this dude said, oh, white man protagonist, so he's going to be the same. But he even said, hey, well, he wasn't the same. So he's not doing the predictive fucking nonsense that the first guy, or the second guy did. So we're not even close to proving that anybody is cut from the same cloth. We got one bad example, one good example. Doesn't prove your point. Please, more examples.
IGN and Kotaku, we also have GameSpot, who at
okay.
one point released a
more examples.
Video about Far Cry 5.
Okay. Video about Far Cry 5. What I like about this too, we're going different eras. Days Gone came out in 2019. PS5 video or PS5 article would have come out in 2020, and then Far Cry 5 was what, 2017, maybe 2018. It's older than 2019, because I remember where I lived at the time, and I moved to Seattle in 2018. So that's good. We're going from different eras to try to establish that, yep, this has been happening. It didn't just happen in the last year or something. It has been happening. Hopefully the example is really good. I pray it is. Far Cry 5, I believe, was the one about rednecks and, like, I don't know, fucking Midwest somewhere. I don't remember. Kansas or some shit. I don't remember where the hell it takes place in. I remember some of the discussion around this being that they didn't admonish, like, religious rednecks enough or something. People were hoping they were going to, like, do some huge political message, and it didn't do it enough. I wonder if that's where we're going to be going with this.
Stood around in a circle as they talked about how traumatic it was to have a conservative question. I'll just let the video speak for itself. Here, listen.
Good. Let us let the video speak for itself. It was, what did he say? It was traumatic that the meteorite staff. That's exactly what I was looking for. I actually need that. I don't really need it, but I'll use it. What the hell is this fucking? Those guys are coming in here. It's fucking really annoying. We will equip the meteorite staff here. There it is. Boost gravity sorcery. Actually, I don't even know what sorceries do I even have equipped right now. Red is great boot. No, so the glintstone staff would actually be better still right now, because I don't have anything that to meet. I don't remember which things. It does have S in scaling though, so maybe that's just worth it. Eh, fuck it, I'll just use it. I don't really use the staff that much. I don't plan on it, so it's just kind of offhand in case I need to poke at something at a distance, like when I was losing to that fucking Iron Maiden thing. Anyway, yeah, they're saying like they were traumatized by a conservative quest. I'm interested to see what they were talking about. But I don't know if it would actually be completely unfair to say, like, hey, I have this perspective. If you make your perspective clear, and I have this perspective, I didn't like this quest because it goes against my perspective really hard. That can be useful information if you're talking about a review. I don't know. I mean, yeah. So, I mean, I think that's totally fair. This would work in his favor if he's saying everybody is of the same, like, mindset in the game industry. If this is just an example of, like, hey, look, this dude also has the same mindset. It sounds like it might be fair in the review. We'll have to wait and listen to the video. But the way he's described it, it's probably fair. But it could help his argument that it's a little bit homogenous. Let's see.
Watching some footage with you guys with the...
Actually, let me, I want to figure out where the hell I'm supposed to be going now. We said north to get the items. I got most of the thingies. So, meteorite staff, rock sling, streets of sage ruins. That was that? Yeah, okay. Very north of the swamp has a Celia crystal tunnel. You may have been told there. Okay. Let's go to the Celia crystal tunnel, shall we?
A guy running for Senate who's a quest giver.
Who's also Herc's dad.
Herc's dad.
Dude that said Obama-loving libtard.
Okay, yeah. I guess I'll just continue letting it play. Yeah, okay. This dude, somebody's dad, said Obama-loving libtard. Sure.
If them Obama-loving libtards find out I can't look after my own property, I can kiss this Senate run goodbye.
Just watching that guy, I don't understand what tone they're going for with him, because...
Okay. So right now, dude is saying he doesn't know the tone that they're trying to establish with this character. So far, he's not overly triggered by a conservative being in the game. He's just saying he doesn't understand the tone. Maybe he doesn't understand how it fits into the rest of the thing. So let's see here. Let's see if he elaborates.
I'm like, okay, he's not a villain. He's not like, but he's a quest giver. So is he just kind of meant to be an asshole? Am I supposed to like him? What?
Okay. So the dude doesn't know if he's supposed to like him. He's a quest giver. But he's a bit of an asshole. Seems fine. So at the very north, we got the cellar. Oh, it's probably here? Yeah, okay. Not supposed to really be wandering up there yet, I don't believe. Okay, dude's a little bit confused on whether or not he's supposed to like him. I would guess that the people are just presenting him as a character, be like, hey, we've got this character, he's got this point of view. Like him or don't, this is his point of view. He doesn't like Obama-loving libtards. So, alright, we're gonna stand like here, I think. Try to kill the thing. Oh, is it actually coming this way? Oh shit, it was. Do I get 2 shots at this standing here? That's pretty cool. Alright, here it comes. Got it! Nailed it. Hell yeah. Alright, so we're gonna continue looking at this.
What are they trying to say with the characters in this game? I don't really know.
It seems like they are trying to sort of have it both ways, because even though the game is set in America and it's going to be viewed through that lens of the current political climate as we're in right now, they're also trying to say that it's its own standalone thing. It's not related to current politics.
Okay. I don't know how they could be trying to have their cake and eat it too when he's literally saying like, oh yeah, it's not related to current politics. He talked about at least at the time, current politician. Like I think when the game released, Obama wasn't in office anymore, but I'm sure during development he was. And people even still to this day, pundits will talk about Obama because he was the president. So I don't see how at least these people are trying to have their cake and eat it too, by being like, we're not current politics, but then they put a statement on current politics. Maybe the Far Cry people made some big statement about like, no, this game isn't political, and then they had that. Maybe that's where the confusion lies in? I'm not sure. Where's the thing? I want to take part in the... whatever. Killed the big, some kind of barnacle or something. So yeah, so far, I am confused about why those guys think it should be, they're trying to have their cake and eat it too or something. Like, be current day political. Oh, do I have heavy roll now? I do. No. Damn it. Oh, take off these. Put on. Oh, that's still heavy. How many, no, I'm doing fine there. So. Yeah, I guess I'll just go with that for now. Yeah, I don't understand what their point is either, I guess.
Which again is weird because you have scenes like scenes with Herc's dad, who's talking about Obama loving libtard. The game also has a character creator, and I decided to make my character black. So going onto his property and actually hearing him talk about like this sort of deeply conservative and like, you know, sort of gun-toting attitudes, that made me really uncomfortable. So.
As you
Yeah, it made him really uncomfortable to talk to a conservative. The dude's statements were the conservative character or whatever was just like, I don't care if those Obama-loving libtards don't want me to defend my property or whatever, something like that. I don't remember exactly what it was. But the important part was the Obama-loving libtards part. And this dude said, well, I made a black character, so I got a little angsty. That's strange. That's a strange statement. Just because somebody really didn't like Obama doesn't mean he's got anything against black people. It doesn't sound like the dude said anything against black people. I get the racist Southern conservative stereotype that dude sort of fits in, but unless he says something explicitly racist, I don't know what it is we're worried about.
You can see, there seems to be a pattern here amongst many of these gaming journalists.
There seems to be a pattern. Okay. So we've got, what are the 3 examples? 1, dude is sick of having a bunch of white guys in their stories because they're just everywhere. But he was at least pleasantly surprised that the white guy he was worried about being bored of was actually a good character. That's the first one. The second one, somebody who bitches about white men in the white guy president he's not gonna do anything, right? He's not gonna do anything to change the world. The world's shitty. I don't think this new president's gonna do anything, and our healthcare system is evil. That's this one. The next one, dude says, I don't know if this guy's like supposed to be like a good guy or a bad guy or whatever, but I got nervous talking to him because he espoused conservative talking points, and that made me nervous because I made a black character. Okay, what is the connection between these ones? The first guy I feel is completely disconnected from the other two. Not even kind of related. The only thing that I think you can say is that he talked about a white guy. But he didn't say they were bad. He didn't say anything like that. He's just saying he's sick of seeing them because he feels like he's seeing a lot of the same character over and over again. But he ended up really liking this one. This isn't talking shit about white people. It's not claiming that a new white guy isn't going to change anything. It's not saying that he was nervous about the white guy either. This guy, the first one has nothing to do. So I don't get how that fits into the pattern. The second one. How does the second one connect to the third one? Well, they both are talking about how they kind of assumed that because in one case a white male president, in another case a white male conservative, that they assumed what their next actions were going to be because of that. That seems to be the connection there. So what he's trying to say is that a lot of these gaming journalists, is he trying to say that they're attacking white males because of these statements? I think that is the most charitable read that I have of how these are connected. Yeah. And if that's what he's trying to say, he's got 2 examples of it that kind of work. Because I think that dude being uncomfortable is a very strange statement. I would agree. And I think the dude didn't need to bring in politics. At least the way they aren't connected at all. The PS5 one didn't need to bring in politics at all. The Far Cry one absolutely should bring in politics because they're talking about their experience of a political statement that the dude made in the game. So that's totally fine. So I would agree that he's kind of saying, yeah, there's these two things that kind of have this ideology that they're assuming a lot about white dudes when they shouldn't. And that can be at least somewhat fairly viewed as an attack on the audience. I would agree. I would just really like more examples for this to be, especially since one of your examples was bad. I'm starting to think that a lot of the things that you think are attacks actually aren't at all. But maybe I'm wrong about that. Hoping we have more examples.
They all seem to be of one political leaning and have an almost hive mind-like mentality when it comes to how they perceive things. The one GameSpot employee here, you can even see the way he looks at his colleagues, like he's trying to find the right words to say so he...
Okay. I'm gonna get away from the fucking shrimp people. Because I want to look at the way this guy's looking at his colleagues. This seems like we're reading way too much into this guy's statements and facial movements. Let's see.
Doesn't get rejected from the group. Because...
That dude just looked like he was talking. That was a really odd criticism. That dude just looked like he was talking. It also looked like he said he was uncomfortable because he made a black character and he's a black guy. So he's talking about how he was uncomfortable. Well, I think it's weird that he was uncomfortable. I don't know. It didn't look like he was asking for acceptance. That's a strange one.
Anything that goes against what they've been programmed to believe causes their brains to malfunction. And
well, only one of those examples showed that. The other guy just said, the first guy definitely didn't malfunction. He said he liked the white character that he thought he wouldn't like. So there's no brain malfunctioning there. The second guy, bitching about white presidents or whatever, I don't know if his brain is malfunctioning. I mean, maybe, but he's not saying he's super he didn't say he got uncomfortable. He just started fucking going on a screed or whatever. So I guess if that's what you mean by brain malfunction, is that like he can't help but talk about this current... God damn it, I died to the fucking shrimp people. If you're just saying he's malfunctioning because he's talking about like his own politics, yeah, I don't know. Like, that didn't seem like a malfunction. I don't know. That one's odd to me. I think he's just like, he's trying to fit his politics into a place that it doesn't exist. If that's what you mean by malfunction, then I guess that kind of works. But the third one definitely wouldn't be that, because they're talking about the politics in the game. And they're talking about that through the lens of their politics, which is completely fair. So there's no malfunction there. The way he would have malfunctioned is that he's saying, like, I'm getting nervous because I'm a black guy when this guy said he doesn't like Obama liberals or whatever. That would be the disconnect that guy had. But that's completely different than the other dude's disconnect of bringing up politics for no reason, right? So these don't appear to be connected in the way that he's saying they are, at least not yet. Maybe he's got another connection, but right now I'm not seeing a huge, strong connection between the examples.
It's extra hilarious when the one GameSpot writer says he was extremely uncomfortable being a black character talking to Herc's dad who's wielding a gun.
Yeah, so that was the malfunction he was talking about there, or at least that was a major one. But that is, like I said, it's completely different than the malfunction of the other guy who just was fitting politics in where it doesn't belong, right? Yeah, I don't see it.
But also doesn't seem to realize that his character in Far Cry 5 has a gun on them too, and is responsible for like 99% of the deaths in that game by their own hand.
Yeah, I didn't think the dude was uncomfortable because he thought he was going to get shot. I thought the dude was uncomfortable. He was just like, well, I'm dealing with a quest giver who is racist. Well, he assumed was racist. He doesn't actually know he's racist. He didn't even say anything racist yet. But he assumed he's racist because of the, like, racist southern black, or not southern, the racist southern white dude, white conservative stereotype. That's what he assumed this guy was, which he might be, I don't fucking know. I didn't play the game. But based on his statements, he made that assumption, so that's what made him nervous, is that he was doing a quest for a racist. That was the impression I got from it. I never felt like he was like, oh, I'm worried I'm going to get shot. I'm sure he's not that nervous about that, for exactly the reasons that you just laid out. Yeah.
It's like these gaming journos go out of their way to be offended when there's nothing to be offended.
So the first guy was not offended. The second guy was offended by our political system, but not the PS5. Which it's fair to be offended by our political system if you think it's doing harm. That is something that is offensive to you. Like, I think that's totally fair. It doesn't make sense to bring it up when he did. And he didn't back up anything that he was saying. Or at least, I don't know that he did. You didn't show me him backing it up. And then the third guy was offended, or maybe offended. I guess offended's a fair enough word to say. Was potentially offended by a character he assumed he was racist. These are completely unrelated to each other again. I don't think we have, even if we're saying, like, okay, we're trying to use the argument that these all have similar ideologies, I don't think the first guy demonstrated a strong ideology. God damn, the fucking shrimp people are brutal. Ugh. I don't think the first guy demonstrated a strong ideology. The second dude absolutely did. And the third dude pretty much did because he assumed the worst of somebody who was against liberals. So you got two guys who definitely, or not definitely, have at least somewhat similar ideologies. First guy, we still don't know his ideology. We could make a pretty good guess. But I don't think he's really strongly indicated that he's very progressive. Yeah. Oh, we can't actually go through there. We gotta go up and over.
Do that. Like their brains can't process someone of a different political leaning being viewed in a non-hostile manner.
None of them. The first two didn't talk about someone else's political views. Only the third one did that. So when you say they can't do that, like, you're trying to talk about the group of people can't do that. That doesn't make any sense. You didn't demonstrate that. You have one example of a person happening to. So let's not make claims about what a group of people are and are not capable of. Right? Making a lot of assumptions. I wonder if I'll be able to get to that item. Can I jump a little bit? I guess not. Whatever. Not a big deal.
This deep-rooted tribalism mentality is what is killing the industry for me and many others.
There was no tribalism in the first guy's statement. I feel like that's all. He's not going to give us more examples like that. So I'm just going to end up probably sounding like a broken record where I just keep saying, you didn't demonstrate that, you didn't demonstrate that, your examples aren't good, they didn't demonstrate that. Maybe the third guy was definitely at least somewhat tribalistic, I would say. Because I think he was being bad faith on that conservative because he's not a conservative. So he assumed the worst of the conservative. There wasn't tribalism really in the second one. And there definitely wasn't in the first one. I'm trying to think of the tribalism that was in the second one. I guess he's just he's not excited about white male presidents. Maybe the tribalism is like an identity politics kind of thing. That they all believe in identity politics. Maybe. I still don't think the first dude demonstrated that. Maybe the second guy did. I still think his problem was just bringing his political opinion where it didn't fit. I don't know if he was being super tribalistic. And the third one, I would agree was somewhat tribalistic.
These gaming journalists and the websites that employ them all seem to believe they know better than everyone else. And if you have any opinion,
The the second guy definitely was saying that, right? Well, maybe not better than anyone else. He didn't compare himself to anyone else other than maybe Joe Biden. But he didn't say anything about, like, I'm better than you gamers. He just gave his political opinion where it didn't fit. So, I don't know where you're getting the, they think they're better than everyone else. They haven't even talked about, here's the thing I think is important. If you're talking about, like, they're talking down to their audience, you need to demonstrate them actually talking shit about their audience. You haven't done that. They talked shit. Somebody talked shit about a fake character, but then realized, oh, I shouldn't talk shit because he was cool. Another dude talked shit about a president-elect. That's not a major portion of his audience. Although I guess maybe you don't like that he had talked shit about your political candidate there. And the third one made an assumption based on what he knew of that character. It was a bad assumption. I would tend to agree there. So that one might be talking shit about his audience because he would make the same assumption of similar other Obama-hating conservatives that would potentially be in his audience. So maybe that one did. I might agree with you there. I guess maybe is it talking shit about Joe Biden because he's a white man? I mean, I guess. Yeah, I guess I would kind of be talking shit too. But again, the first guy just doesn't fit in that. Because it's just like a statistical thing. He's saying, there's a lot of these. I've seen it. I don't need to see it anymore. Turns out, I thought it wouldn't be good because I've seen a lot of it. But it was good.
Opinions that are different from their own, you are considered subhuman, and
They definitely didn't call anyone subhuman. Especially, I'm gonna keep harping on it. The first guy absolutely wasn't even close to calling anybody subhuman. He didn't even admonish anybody for anything. He didn't talk about anybody's ideology. He said he's just not excited about seeing a dude who's very similar to a bunch of dudes he's seen before. That was cheating. I went through the fucking wall, my guy. Fucking shrimp people, man. I'm gonna die to the goddamn shrimp people. I don't remember what this does. Okay, we're not doing so good. I think I need to balance... Yeah, I need to balance my flasks in a better way. I need the health ones more than I need the mana ones. So maybe I'll probably just adjust it one. Oh my god, there's 2 fucking shrimp people up there. Holy shit. I'm really in a bad shape right now. So I can just go fight what looks like a boss. Or I can fight the shrimp people. And there's 2 of them. So it's effectively going to be a boss for me. I guess I'll go fight the shrimp people, whatever. We should be able to run and get the stuff quickly. Let's kill the shrimp people. Yes! We rocked the shrimp people. We rocked them. Okay. Fateful Canvas Talisman. I have low hopes of defeating whatever is on the other side of this fucking door, but we're gonna try. What do we got? Loodle? Come on, Loodle. You can help me. It's gonna be rough to run back to this, though. Come on, Loodle. Kill it for me. I'm not gonna be able to kill it. I suck. Okay. Do a good amount of damage. That's good. Taking a lot of damage already. I don't have any health pots, so it's pretty rough for me. Come on, Loodle, kill it! I can't kill it. You need to do it. Oh, didn't have any fucking mana. There I go.
and the enemy. And these are the same publications that end up getting mad when their viewers decide to fight back. Like, what did you expect? You should never attack your audience. A big
I need to... I can kind of infer, sort of, why he thinks they're attacking the audience, but I guess I need the connection there. I think he's just... Yeah, I think it's the white man thing. I think that's what he's getting at. Is that a second guy assumed a white man president wouldn't change the political system. Third guy assumed a white conservative was racist, which I think that's more talking about conservatives than white people. No! Go away, shrimp people. God damn it. Those are annoying. And then... Yeah, the first guy didn't assume anything. So I think it's just the white man angle, basically. That's the attack he sees on the audience. But like I said, I think the third guy was more attacking at conservatives. Which I guess would still be attacking the audience, but it is attacking a theoretically different group of people, right? Oh yeah, no, I'm already fucking dying. I goddamn shrimp people. Shrimp people are annoying. I'll admit it. I'm a shrimp people racist. I don't like the shrimp people. Not a fan. One's gonna drop out of the sky here. Just gonna keep running. Or did he not drop out of the sky? There he is. He's over there. Goddamn shrimp people. Fucking shit. Hate the shrimp people. Okay, let's get Loodle out. Get off the heal. Where is there's our souls. Runes. Already not doing good. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. Okay, we got it. Jesus. Already, as far as combat goes, already doing worse than I did previously. So that was probably because I was a little... That goes that far? Jesus. Okay. I'm doing way worse. Holy shit. Loodle, I need you to just kill it. I'm not good at the game. I need you to be good for me. Come on. Just kill it. Come on. You're like a huntress, or what are headless? Yeah, you're a headless. You can do it. Okay, we're gonna do that. I gotta remember what it does. I did it based on the fucking extra life thing. He's just like, yeah, you can do this wondrous physic, and I forgot what it does. God damn. Yeah, I'm getting raffle stomped by this thing this time. I'm doing so much worse than the first time I fought it, which is weird. Maybe I'll be able to stun it? I am almost done with it. Come on, get up. Yeah! We got him. Actually, I was trying to go for the execution. At least I did what I told him. I asked him to kill it. So he did. Okay.
reason for why I've largely abandoned so many of these publications is because there's just no unique voices within them. Have you noticed how every one of these sites,
I will say, all three of those things were unique takes. One was a fucking Biden sucks. One was a all conservatives are racist, or all white conservatives at least are racist. And the other one was a I'm sick of the same protagonist over and over again. These didn't seem like the same take to me.
all have the same opinions about literally everything. Like, where is the interesting and nuanced discussions?
The way you would demonstrate that is by showing people express literally the same opinion. And you didn't. You didn't. You showed three complete... Well, I already went over it. Yeah, you got to show people who have the exact same opinion. Not just based on these completely different opinions, I assume these guys all have the exact same ideology. That seems like a weird statement to me, especially when you're complaining that they're assuming things about their audience or about specific people. All right. Defeat the Falling Storm Beast. Yep. To the east of Swamp is Celia, Town of Sorcery. Important sections. That's this. I believe you meet Garia, the shack just north of Celia Gateway. I'll task you with defeating Commander O'Neill in the swamp. Yep. Okay, so I think I'm gonna just go here and continue up that way.
Why would I want to listen to 5 yuppie journalists in a room smelling their own farts who all have the same opinion? It's not interesting because there's nothing to be challenged or debated.
Yeah, so if you don't want to listen to 5 yuppie journalists smelling their own farts or whatever, can you show me an example of them doing that? Because none of these were examples of that. I didn't always... I kind of liked what the first guy had to say. I didn't really like what the other two had to say. But it's definitely not the thing you're saying it is. Right?
This is largely why so many
I mean, if that's such a common...
consumers
Sorry. If that's such a common thing, that, like, if they're just constantly putting that type of shit out, it should be really easy to show literally exactly that. There's got to be at least one example of them just fucking sniffing each other's farts and saying they're amazing, right? You gotta have at least one. The one dude sorta did. He did sort of... Well, I mean, he did kind of say, like, my ideology is the best by saying, like, yeah, this one... I think the healthcare system is evil. So maybe that's that. Maybe. The other guy just... I don't know. It just made a bad assumption about a person? That doesn't sound... It's not particularly fart sniffy to me. I mean, maybe I guess a little bit, because he's just saying, like, yeah, conservatives are all racist, and since we all know racism is bad. Maybe? I don't know, but it feels like if you're gonna talk, you're gonna bring a specific example, like, I don't want to see X thing, then you should be able to show me at least once an example of X thing happening, right? You could literally find a podcast of 5 motherfuckers just talking about how they're the best, like, how they are morally superior or whatever. That doesn't seem like it would be such a tall task.
have moved to independent media. Like, for example, you right now are watching me. I'm that independent media.
You are! You're an independent journalist. Good job, dude. I talked to Gallery. I'm independent media. I don't think I'm better than you. I'm probably worse than you. Look how bad I am at Elden Ring. You've got to be better than me as a person. I know it.
When the earth but Millicent for this, seek the deep, the needle.
I'm test you defeating
First, it's hidden, then I will the secret. First, it's
okay,
hidden,
he is
then
repeating
I will
himself.
secret.
I wasn't paying attention if he repeated himself the first time, but he is repeating himself now. So let's, we should probably just fast travel, right? Somebody to kill in the swamp. Found a large clearing with Aeonia swamp in eastern Caelid. Place newly reached this area southwest from Celia Town of Sorcery, further north, and for a large group of trees. Oh, okay, so I should be... Damn it. I should have been in the thing already. Alright, well, we'll continue up that way then.
I don't have IGN's or GameSpot's editors breathing down my neck telling me what I can or can't say. I already know.
Do you know that these people are changing their opinions based on what the editors are saying? Do you have any evidence of that? I mean, I'm sure it happens to some degree, but if it was such a prevalent issue, like, what I would actually guess is that most of these people actually just believe similar things. If it's a can and can't say thing, I would guess it's more like the what was it, Jeff Gerstmann and Giant Bomb, or I don't remember. It was that thing where the dude wanted to post a bad review of was it Kane and Lynch, I think, and then the magazine wouldn't let him because they were sponsored by the game. So there's that. I would guess it's more stuff like that than, oh, you can't say this thing, your political opinion. You have to say our political opinion. That might happen, but is there any prominent examples of this? I would guess if there's any, like, lack of diversity, it's just because those are the people who get hired in these. These people who have a certain ideology just hire other people who have the same ideology. Not an editor forcing this on the people. Maybe I'm wrong, though. Maybe he's got it nailed. Maybe it is all the fucking editors.
Know someone like me who isn't even fully conservative or liberal myself would either not get hired by any of these places, or I would be fired for simply thinking differently than them.
Okay, so yeah, so he did kind of agree that it may be more in the hiring of a certain type of people over and over and over again than it is the editors causing issues. Oh, damn it. No, you're a big old beetle. I need you. No, you don't disappear. No, you don't. You die to me. Wait, why can't I do the... No! I was right there! What the fuck? Okay, we're gonna find this fuck.
Point is that the reason why modern games journalism is largely dying is because they did it to themselves. They've alienated the people they should be catering to, while also being too afraid to have any opinion of their own without approval from the hive mind that...
I haven't seen the approval thing that he's talking about. I tenuously see the alienating people, kind of. Not many examples. One example which doesn't show it at all. But I haven't seen the, other opinions are squashed. There's definitely a hive mind here. Really like more examples of it. I don't even think, because I was talking about Colin Moriarty earlier. I don't remember him ever saying, like, oh, his opinions actually were squashed. I don't know that he's ever said anything like that. Maybe he did, and I just don't remember it. But that would be an excellent thing for this guy to bring up. Just like, hey, here's a guy, worked in the industry, got fucking fired for being conservative. Or said, oh, you're not allowed to publish this article because it's too conservative. Where's that? That would prove your point here.
They all bow to. I mean, it's not even conspiracy theory-like to say that it's not just games journalism, but all media that just has a liberal bias. And
it's definitely not all media that has a liberal bias. Fox News is like the biggest cable news channel, so they're highly conservative. So there's not a liberal bias there. There does seem to be, it is in a lot of, I guess, entertainment. Entertainment does seem to skew liberal. If that's what he means, then sure. But even independent media is definitely not a liberal bias. There's a ton of, like, anti-SJW, conservative, alt-right. Like, Steven Crowder is fucking huge. The Blaze is big. Daily Wire is big. There is not just this huge thing. I might agree that more traditional news stations are like liberal than conservative, and then I might agree. Well, actually, I would agree on that based on what I've seen. And then I might agree on just like movies, and I don't even know if games really have that much of a political bent. Well, movies definitely seem to. And I'd probably agree that gaming journalism does too, but I would not agree that media as a whole. There's a lot of conservative media out there. Especially in the independent space. Rush Limbaugh is also gigantic. There's lots of, oh, there he is. Alright, Loodle. Get summoning my dude. Go fight this fuck. Should I kill these first? I don't remember how to fight this guy, really. I'm gonna go kill these first and see how that does for me. Alright, Neil. Let's see what you got, boy. Not Neil. Neil. Okay. Running out of this. That was annoying. I think I did get a hit on him. Like I saw the number pop up on his health bar. Crit, boy! No, Loodle! You were headless, and now you're lifeless. Oh, that did a shitload of damage to him. That's dope. Whatever you gotta do. Oh, you're resummoning those? I ain't gonna worry about it this time. You have way too much damage on you for me to give a shit about them. Actually, I'm gonna be safe. Heal him first. No, I got the rot. No! You gotta be kidding me. Oh, that sucks. All because I got the rot. If I didn't get the rot, I would have been totally fine. I was literally drinking to save my life. And it fucking went away. That sucks. Oh well. Shouldn't be a huge deal.
Look, I don't care who you voted for. On my channel, you can be liberal, conservative, a commie.
Yeah, I mean, they can be all those things. But I haven't seen the part... They expressed their opinion on things. I don't remember where they said you couldn't be in their audience if you were this. I can understand why you might think they're maybe a little bit hostile to it, but they weren't saying, like... I don't... Like, one of them wasn't even close to hostile to anybody. The other one was hostile toward a liberal president. And the last one was hostile toward a conservative guy. Like, what is the major... Where's the... How's there, like, some big exclusion? I don't know, I feel like... I guess the exclusion is just like, yeah, they made assumptions on, like, white dudes, and then a conservative. That's the exclusion, I guess, that's happening. I think I'm actually just gonna focus on them this time. Like, maybe I'll be able to kill them incidentally. I think if you really... I don't know. Like, it seems like you're just saying, like, they didn't like a couple of people that I guess I sort of am similar to, so therefore they won't like me? I don't know. They didn't say anything, like, about who can and can't be in their audience or anything. Alright, put that one down. Okay, maybe I should focus on these guys. It was a little bit harder that time.
Me or all of the above. As long as you vibe with the fact that I will always be cynical and have a no bullshit approach to everything in existence, then we're cool.
Yeah, what's the example of them saying, hey, we're absolutely super not cool with other people being in our audience? Did they say that? I don't know. I didn't even get a strong implication of it from what they were talking about. Alright, let's get moving here. I'm glad you feel that way. That's cool. But I would be looking for more of a statement from them being like, hey, you're a bad person if you are like this or something. I don't know. The closest any of them said was, the one dude said, our healthcare system is evil. So I guess you're evil if you support it? So that would be the kind of, like, gatekeeping their audience that happened there? Alright. Can we get that drunk? No, Loodle! You don't get to attack my Loodle like that. Which I guess you did. You did attack it, and I didn't really do much about it. Big damage. Cool. I fucking pressed it, it just didn't... That actually screwed me! He just stood there and didn't attack him! Oh, that really sucked. I was sitting there hitting it, and I was just like, okay, I guess we're just not gonna attack.
Journalists of today aren't willing to speak out against their own peers without fear of being ostracized from the group.
Where was the example of that? Show me somebody being ostracized of the group. Show me that. Please. Show me that. That would really help this here. None of those people did it. So show me an example of somebody doing that. Alright, big old summon. And get off the horse. Really? That didn't get the other one? That felt like bullshit. I can definitely beat this. This hasn't been that complicated. There's been a couple of weird instances of things happening. Alright, almost died there. We didn't, so, you know. Getting a little stuck on the geometry here. Really love that. Alright, come on. Okay, we're gonna kill these so they don't fuck with me anymore. Cool. Alright. Loodle's doing alright. We're doing alright. That sucked. It's okay. Should be able to get one more off, yeah. This, I guess. Alright. Loodle's alive, and we got a crit off on him. Things are looking pretty good, as long as I don't do anything really stupid. 2 crits off on him. They're looking quite good for me here. Yeah, you're resummoning people. I'm gonna ignore them this time. Killed them the first time. Why didn't you... Alright, we still got him, but that was the second time that happened, where it just didn't do the fucking attack. Right. I don't know why. It happened in a different way, at least. We got ourselves an unallied gold needle. Haven't you always wanted one of those? I know I have. But yeah, about the ostracization thing. I think the best example is Colin Moriarty. And he brought him up as being in the golden era, but you need to support what you're saying about them not accepting other people. Because you have 3 examples of 3 different opinions. They could be related to an ideology, but you haven't established that. So, it doesn't seem as, I guess, incestuous as you're saying it is. At least you haven't given... I'm not deep in this. Maybe it is super incestuous. But you need to provide me, a person who's not deep in this, more examples of how it's very incestuous. Yep, that's fine. Return the unallied gold needle to Gowry so he can repair it. Alright, let's do it.
Well, that's why people like me exist. Because I couldn't care less about having exclusive sneak peek coverage on whatever game is coming out.
Is there an example of someone getting denied exclusive sneak peek coverage because they don't share the political ideology with them? Again, I think maybe the best example I'm aware of might be Colin, but you aren't mentioning that, so how do I know that this is true? That actually is a thing? People are being blacklisted for being conservatives? Or at least not progressive? Is that actually a thing? Do you have evidence of this? It might be happening. I don't know. I need you to prove it. I assume it isn't happening until you prove it, but I don't know. It wouldn't be crazy. Like, it doesn't sound super conspiratorial to me. We just need a couple pieces of evidence.
In a strange twist, it's the content creators of the modern era who act more like journalists than the actual people who went to school and...
I think most of the content, I mean, YouTube and Twitch and TikTok and whatever the fuck else is a big platform, most of the content creators I come across aren't journalistic in any of their efforts. A lot of times they're very bad at journalism and that they just spew facts that they get from somewhere, and it ends up being, oh, it's not at all what you say it is. So many people just react so quickly to breaking news and just spread misinformation and actually do damage to our society. So I'm going to be interested to see how these people are acting more like journalists than these journalists you're talking about. We just next we should in charge of it. To meet Mill Centaur, we must first make a little progress all the time before we can reach a church. It's on the page for a proper walk through an area. There's useful loot in there, but particularly those golden seed and imbued sword king. Okay, let's just go for it.
Got jobs at these godforsaken websites these days anyways. This cultural shift has been gaining momentum for years now, and when it comes to games coverage, why would I go to a major gaming website when I can go to YouTube and watch a channel?
I mean, that's a good point. There's lots of different things on YouTube. These things are on YouTube. These oh, hello. These big gaming sites. They normally have YouTube presences, but yeah, I mean, you totally can. Go for it, dude. Oh, I still didn't redo my tiers.
Channel who specializes in certain games or genres. Channels like Ziostorm, for example.
This is a good point. Like, these big gaming sites need to cater to like everybody. Or at least they don't need to, but that's generally what they're trying to do. They don't really specialize in anything. Whereas something like, I don't know, like Maximilian Dude on YouTube, for example, he specializes in fighting games. He also plays like, oh fuck. I don't like how you guys just aren't visible. So I'm like, just fucking chill here. And I just get attacked by something because I thought I was running to a safe place. Turns out I wasn't. Alright, well, let's deal down here. Gonna be dead soon. There we go. Alright. Dying a bit. We're making it. Yeah, that is a good... That's a good point. These things don't... They try to cater to everyone, and then sometimes that means they cater to nobody. It's kind of generic and lifeless. But that's not the same as what you were just saying. You were actually saying they weren't catering to everybody, and that they were catering to people of only a specific ideology. So wouldn't these places be a good place if you look for specific knowledge on how, I don't know, fucking conservatives are ruining games or whatever you're claiming that they say they are? Wouldn't that be a niche of these websites?
For everything from software related, and I know by watching his stuff, it'll be news with no stupid bias. Or I guess
it's... If you think an individual creator doesn't have a bias, I've got another thing coming for you, dude. Everybody has especially one creator probably has more bias than individual people. So don't know your point there. Maybe you just don't care about their bias, but everybody's biased. Ugh.
I could go to Polygon and then get told that From Software is apparently sexist and doesn't know how to write women. I mean, we're seeing the...
Okay, well that was good, I guess. There was another example there. I didn't read the whole headline. But sure. But wouldn't that be the niche that they are filling? That like this other dude is like, oh, he's talking about From Software games, and this one says, well, this website always claims everybody's sexist or racist or whatever. That is a niche. You may not like it, but it's a niche in the same way that the other dude is a niche, right? He's going to talk about From Software games and not say you're racist and sexist. They're going to talk about From Software games and say that you are racist and sexist. See? I would say probably some people like it. Just maybe not... It just doesn't have the mass appeal that the other ones had. And also, I don't know that these individual channels, they're probably... I don't know if they're doing bad, but like... if they got to the size of some of these big, like IGN or something like that, and then they just started concentrating on From Software games, they'd be losing subs probably too, because that's a smaller audience than like games as a whole, you know. But yeah, I mean, they do struggle with the fact that like they're trying to appeal to everybody, and the fact that there's people who just do niches better on YouTube. I would agree with you there.
Consequences of these bad actors in real time, with entire networks like G4 going from a full-blown relaunch to closing down within a year. G4, like IGN and so on, was a place I used to watch religiously when I was a kid.
Yeah, I honestly think there might be ideological bias there that's like pushing people away. I don't think this dude has demonstrated that, but there might be, you know. I honestly think it's just they have to compete with people who are just way leaner. No. Okay. Can I shoot it? No, I wanna. Got it. Yeah, I really think it's there's a lot of overhead in like the G4 relaunch. There's a lot of overhead in that. There's not a lot of overhead to fucking PewDiePie or whatever the hell they do. Or live streamers. There's not a lot of overhead in what I'm doing. Nobody fucking watches it, but there's no overhead really. It's just I have to make a thumbnail, and then I gotta stream a game I was gonna play anyway, and then I gotta talk, I guess. There's very little overhead in what I do. Doesn't make any money, but people do similar styles to what I do with very little overhead. So they're a much leaner operation. I think that's the main thing here. It's not that there's not going to be any audience for these people at the end of the day. It's just you need an absolutely massive audience for the operations that they run. More options are showing up, so therefore the audience is dwindling.
I was a major fan of Attack of the Show and X-Play, and when it got announced it was returning, I was skeptical of them achieving anything remotely close to their former glory. And unfortunately,
it was basically guaranteed that they wouldn't achieve their former glory. Because there's just more competition in the space. G4, YouTube wasn't huge when G4 was huge. I don't remember really any other gaming TV shows. And individual creators they just really weren't a thing. Now they're a thing, so the non-individual sites are getting hurt. It really does seem that it's pretty close to that simple. I don't know that they'll just completely go away, but they're struggling a little bit. Doesn't necessarily have to be ideology. It's just the change in the landscape. So it's starting to get hurt.
Fortunately, I was right. With newcomers like Frost, with her now infamous speech about sexism in gaming, spirit bombing the entire network's integrity and destroying any forward momentum, G4.
Yeah, I would need evidence that you don't know. In order to prove that that's it, you would have to be like, okay, your audience shrank after this. Or, your audience, you need to have some way know that your audience would have been bigger if they didn't do that. Because there's lots of people who talk mad shit, like Hassan accuses people of being racist and sexist or whatever, and he's a fucking gigantic millionaire streamer. There are plenty of channels where people just insult fucking liberals and shit like that are gigantic. Like, Steven Crowder is huge, and all he does is make fun of liberals, right? So, like, that's not it. That can't be it, right? There are people who clearly don't want people of a certain type in their audience that are still fucking huge. So I don't see why. What's the evidence that this is the thing that's killing these? I think it's just a change in landscape. The landscape is different when these things were more popular. Landscape is changing, things are getting less popular. Okay, I still need to... Okay, hello. guys walking around. Fuck you, then. It's gonna be annoying. No. I'm gonna do that here. Ugh. Where you guys at? Here we are. Oh! There's fucking 4 of them. How great is this? Alright, please. Okay, cool. Where are you guys at again? I can't even get a fucking attack off because how many things are coming at me at once. Ugh. There's something behind me, isn't there? Yeah, there is. Look at that little guy. We got him though. Okay. Huh. The spam bush. Alright. Now that we relaxed a little bit there, what I think this is this dude has something of an ideological bias. And he just needs the downfall of some of these bigger sites to fit into it. His worldview has to explain everything. He doesn't have evidence of this. He's got a couple of examples, at least one of which definitely doesn't fit his narrative, I would say. But its worldview would start falling apart if it doesn't explain absolutely everything. His worldview would probably... I think he would say, oh yeah, it's working because of my worldview, or oh, it's not working because of my worldview. I think there's a lot of bias in actually what he's saying, even though he's claiming that he's not very biased. There just isn't evidence behind anything that he's saying. Yeah, I guess that's the TLDR.
Had in its revival. Then the network limped on, lost subscribers and investments until it was reported that G4 was going to be hit with massive layoffs.
Do we know that it actually was doing well and then it started doing bad? I want to see what that thing does. I don't know what it does. Wait. Oh, is that like a helmet or something? There it is. What does it do? Nothing exciting. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Can we show that it was doing at least on track to doing well, and then they started saying, I guess, woke shit, and then it started failing? Because that would help. I always just felt like it was doomed just because of the concept, not because of the statements, the political statements they were making.
Layoffs. According to sources, people who worked at G4 came into the office to work and were completely oblivious to the reckoning coming their way, with employees being...
I was really hoping he was about to say, like, oh, people came in and then they had these ideas of things they wanted to publish, and then they weren't allowed to because it didn't fit G4's narrative. I was really hoping he had some evidence behind his thought that everybody's not allowed to say other opinions. But he still didn't quite get there, did he? But, yeah, okay. They didn't know they were about to get fired. You really do.
Pulled one by one into HR and being told that they were being let go effective immediately. Eventually, after the initial layoffs, Frosk, who with her infamous sexism...
I do find it interesting that people... When some of these mass layoffs happen, people always will just be like, oh my god, they had no idea it was even coming, or just like, they just had to immediately fucking leave. I'm just like, yeah, that's what getting fired is. People try to play it up like it's way worse than anything. I mean, I'm not trying to say layoffs are good. I'm not happy about layoffs. But people try to play it off like, just like, oh my god, can you imagine? I was like, yeah, that's being fired, dude. Like, I don't know, it's just being fired. People try to say like, oh, it's extra fucked up because they didn't know it was coming. I'm just like, yeah, You normally don't know you're getting fired until they tell you you're getting fired. They're not going to be like, hey, you're getting fired, and hang around for a month. Yeah. It's just weird people try to play up that angle of it.
Some speech causing all of this would also be let go. And even industry legends like Adam Sessler, who was brought back to host X-Play and more, decided to attack his already dwindling audience in unhinged tweets prior to G4's massive.
Okay, yeah, he's been a bit unhinged for a little bit. I follow him on Twitter. He's got a lot of stuff to say. And I think he might be able to, the guy, ENDYMION, he might be able to actually prove here. They're just like, oh, this is actually attacking the audience. There's a couple of examples of independent, well, maybe not independent. Jim Sterling attacks his fucking audience all the goddamn time. Or there, I don't know if it's a she, them, whatever. I'm going to say they. They attack their audience all the fucking time. That isn't an example of this narrative, though. But you'd be able to find that everywhere. Adam Sessler, I think I've seen him do that, too. So, yeah, if we got examples of him doing it while he was at G4, that kind of helps, man. We might have an example of somebody attacking their audience. Wouldn't that be crazy? Let's see.
Layoffs. Adam Sessler would send hateful tweets targeted at conservatives by saying things like Republicans are stupid, racist, and drink piss.
That's a good one. There you go. That's a direct attack on its audience. Exactly the shit that you were saying. I don't know if G4 existed on January 11, 2022. Maybe they did. I'll assume they did. There you go. Look at that. An example that fits his narrative. I'm fucking proud of him. He fucking did it.
He even said in 2021, until they clean their ranks, Republicans are a terrorist organization.
There you go. Look at this. It doesn't prove that it's a wide sweeping problem, but we've at least identified one dude at one of these big gaming things. I was going to say website, but I don't know what the fuck G4 was in its relaunch. I don't know if it was a TV show or website or whatever the fuck it was. But another, yeah, we got a big gaming thing. One dude absolutely just attacking people who may or may not be in his audience, but I'm sure there's conservatives in his audience. He was a pretty popular guy. So, there you go. We're doing it. We're finally doing it. Fuck yeah, dude. Keep it up.
And even further back in 2020, Sessler would go on to say, all the Republicans in my family can eat shit and die while I sip something bubbly.
There you go! More attacks! I like it. I like it. It's only one guy. That's the problem we're having right now. We only got one guy. I don't know if the other people attacked him as much. Maybe there were some implicit attacks. But we got one guy. Okay. Treasure play, talking about this, hand over the unallied building. Okay. Imbued sword key. Okay, I got the important things there. So let's continue. We gotta go through the thing up here.
Remember when I said earlier that there's a hive mind over there in the game's journalism sphere?
I do.
They all have the same talking points. They all hate the same people because it's politically correct for them to do so.
Okay. Do we have more example of people hating these people? First guy wasn't that. Second guy hated a liberal, so that wasn't it either. He did hate the healthcare system too, so maybe that was it. But I definitely would not put Republicans and Democratic President Joe Biden into the same group that he was doing. So okay, that didn't work either. Third guy, that was a Republican. Well, at least a conservative because he hated Obama. Okay. So now we have two examples. This is the hive mind. Our two examples are the hive mind. Do we have more?
This, my friends, is the absolute state of modern video game journalism today. It's full of bad actors who hate you, even if you've done nothing wrong. And it's...
Wait, did that one chick... Did she say something against hating conservatives? Ah, fuck. I don't remember what she said. Maybe she did. Maybe there was a third one. You know what? I'll be nice. I'll say we got up to 3. I'll let him have it.
sucks because I used to like Adam Sessler. I used to enjoy listening to him talk about video games and be passionate about them. I miss the days when your political stance or ideologies didn't completely define you as a person to those around you. In my experience, people
Wow,
are
I got
far
wrecked
more
there, didn't I?
nuanced and not as rigid as these modern journals would.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with him here. Adam Sessler is a good example of you might like all of his gaming takes, but it's going to be really tough to get through all of his hatred toward conservatives if you're conservative. It's basically going to be impossible. I would generally agree with him there. I don't really know about that other chick. I don't remember what he even said she said, but I think we've got one very strong example, one maybe example, and then I don't even remember the other one. I would agree. Maybe we're starting to prove that his point there, that a lot of people are hating things. We might be starting to do it. I believe in him. I know we can do it. I believe.
Want you to believe. I mean, you're allowed to disagree with me or with each other. It doesn't mean because we don't see eye to eye that we...
So far, I disagree with you. So I'm glad that I'm allowed to keep watching your video. I'm glad you let me do that.
Can't also respect each other as well. You can disagree or agree with anything you want. Life is not...
There is a point where respect is not earned, though, right? Your political beliefs absolutely should earn you disrespect if they're bad enough. A perfect example, if you're a fucking white nationalist, why should we respect you? Like, we already know that doesn't go anywhere good. We don't need to respect that ideology. I am not saying that Republicans are white nationalists, but I am saying, like, there's absolutely ideologies, political leanings that deserve no respect. And we know this. We know this. We all know this. No one disagrees with that. If you do, you're like a maniac, basically. Yeah, not saying that what Adam Sessler is doing is okay, but just saying the base concept behind it isn't bad. You just maybe he's got his dial a little bit too sensitive there, so he's got a lot of stray bullets flying at people who maybe shouldn't have that vitriol tossed at them.
Not like World of Warcraft. You don't need to be in a binary choice like saying you're either the Alliance or the Horde. I can almost guarantee that many of you watching this right now are just like me. You're just tired of all of this. You're annoyed and
I'm fine. I am tired of people fucking making claims without backing it up, though. So, there's a lot of fucking skeletons here. I don't know if I would... This is annoying. That feels like a spam bush. And of course they fucking regenerate. Oh my god, they got the shrimp fucking people waiting outside of the church. Man, let's murder the fucking shrimp people. Alright, one down. This is gonna be a little bit tougher. I don't know what shit. Really? One of you fucks actually followed me? I'm gonna be a man. I'm not even gonna fucking hit the site of grace, even though I could. I want to murder the fucking shrimp. That sucks that he went around that fucking thing right when I died. It's fucking garbage. Shrimp people down, alright. You know what? If you're gonna follow me, you can go down too. Come on, show me your thing, and you're dead. Very good. Alright. We did it. Like she's doing so good, huh?
over these people in varying levels of power telling you how to think or act. And I'm here to tell you that...
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't... Yeah, I'm just not deep enough in these, I guess, to know if they're telling you how to think or act.
Unlike IGN, GameSpot,
but people absolutely are fine with being told how to think and act. Like, Fox News and Hassan Piker do this all the fucking time, and they're incredibly popular. So I don't know. That doesn't necessarily mean people are going to leave your audience in droves.
If you are wise, you will my flesh brag. If you are wise, my flesh.
Okay, what am I supposed to do? Take back north of the stairs. Be sure to loot the Secretary of the Church, reload the area, and speak to her, obtain a prosthesis there. Okay. Reloading.
For G4 and so on, that there are places for you to just be yourself. Places like my channel or others where...
I mean, these things are totally fine.
If you are wise, you may flash.
Didn't I fucking... Did I not do it? These places are totally fine if you agree with them, though. Like, Adam Sessler's audience would just be people who don't like... So Hassan Piker is the best example of this. He fucking hates conservatives, talks mad shit about them. I don't know if it's... He said they should drink piss or whatever the fuck Adam Sessler said. But, like... These communities exist. So...
If you are flash.
Church are playing and talking about us and hand over the... Sure to loot the Secretary. Reload the area and speak to her to obtain... Where heirloom? Did I fucking miss that? Are heirlooms in here? I don't even know where heirlooms would be. Yeah, I'm really fucking confused. Sure to loot the Secretary. Return to find Milson again. Don't forget there's lots of dialogue. Move her to the Altus Plateau later. Did I not give her the needle? Did I need to talk to what's his name once? I probably did. I think I remember being confused about this before when I played it before.
Where no comments are suppressed, your political ideology or whatever has no effect.
Where are the comments suppressed? Do you have examples of that happening? Because that would help your argument. Okay, we're actually gonna go kill. There's that dude who like throws shit. I think we can get to him. We'll kill him.
And how I will proceed. Why these big entertainment websites can't understand this is beyond me. I mean, not only are these sites losing revenue at a breaking rate.
I just don't think that that's an obvious thing. Like, tribalism sells. So if they're trying to attract people, like, it clearly does. There's tribal popular shit all over the fucking place. So if you're saying that, like, these big websites are, like, tribalistic and that's just going to make them fail, that's what's causing them to fail, like, explain the popular tribalistic websites then. Like, how do those happen? Yeah, I don't understand it. There's too many counterexamples to what he's saying for it to make any sense. I guess maybe you can make a more nuanced point and be like, hey, if you want to be a gaming website, focus on the games and only bring up politics when it's super relevant. That's a bit of a more nuanced take than what I feel like I'm hearing from him, but that might make a bit more sense. But he also said it's ruining modern gaming and journalism. So aren't we talking about all of journalism, or are we just talking about gaming journalism? I think he means to just talk about gaming journalism. But maybe I'm wrong. I'm getting super hungry. Hopefully we'll finish with this video soon.
Neck pace, they're also running out of venture capital too. Places like BuzzFeed recently have laid off 12% of their workforce due to their awful, biased, brainless content.
You haven't proved that it's due to their awful, biased, brainless content. There's biased, brainless content all over the place that sells a lot. If you want examples, if you're liberal, you think Fox News is fucking brainless content, if you're conservative, you think Hassan Piker is brainless. Well, actually, I can just say CNN. You think that's brainless content. Both of them are quite popular. So, you need more than that to prove your point, my dude.
CNN laid off hundreds of employees as well. AMC cut its staff.
Oh, did he say CNN? Oh, shit. Maybe he proved me wrong. It's okay. I can just revert to something else. I don't know. Fucking Huffington Post. There you go.
By 20%, and places like Disney are completely restructuring their businesses.
Yeah, Disney's failing because they make fucking garbage. It may be sometimes that it's biased, like clearly the fucking Falcon and the Winter Soldier had like a progressive bias in it, and that's part of the reason it was so bad, because it was just ham-fisted in there. But, like, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness was just dog shit with no fucking, like, there was no political message in it. It was just fucking dog shit. I saw Kratos on the cover. Yeah, I mean, it's on the cover. So yeah, so I don't know. And welcome back. Oops, all Godskins. We're fighting things. And this guy. And ENDYMIONtv. We're fighting monsters and that guy. What the fuck was I saying? I got distracted. Yeah, Disney's just going down because they make dog shit. I don't know that you can say it's definitely because of an ideological bias. There's plenty of dog shit that they're putting out that's not ideologically biased. Like, what was the ideological bias in Ahsoka? That fucking movie, or that thing sucked. Like, I don't... Ahsoka was just boring crap, so I don't know what the ideological bias was there. So I don't think Disney is telling you that it's like proving your point here. I don't understand.
This due to loss of revenue. And the thing all of these major companies, gaming websites, journalists, and more have in common is that they're all making content aimed at a modern audience that doesn't exist in the first place.
They're making content aimed at an audience that doesn't exist. I mean, I guess technically, if they're losing viewers, then I guess their audience doesn't exist. I guess so. A bit of an odd statement. It seems almost tautological. Like, you're making content for nobody. Well, if nobody's watching it, then yeah, it's probably true, I guess.
They think by pushing ideologies that they deem politically correct while attacking their consumers that this will somehow work.
What was the attack that Disney did on its consumers? They may have done it, but you brought them up as another example of this shit. Do you have an example of them doing it? I'm not personally aware of it. Okay, alright. We're getting fucked by this guy. Come on, buddy. Oh, he hit me before I can hit him. Got him.
In their favor and bring in imaginary ad revenue and subscriptions from modern consumers that they are so sure exist. But who out here actually likes being talked down to? Who honestly...
I mean, yeah, I don't know if people like being talked down to, but people clearly like somebody just talking shit about a tribe they're not a part of. I've already went over the examples of that. So, if you're just saying they're talking down to them because they don't like conservatives or whatever, there's plenty of examples of very popular media. People do that. Again, Hassan Piker does this all the time. One of the biggest streamers on Twitch. Tribalism does sell, my dude. I'm sorry. Yeah, I do want to get back there. There should be Site of Grace there. So I'll go to that one.
enjoys being attacked 24/7 and being told they're worthless unless they agree with everything they're told. Do you...
I also didn't, other than the Adam Sessler thing, he didn't have an example of people being told that they were worthless. Like, especially those the first three examples he talked about didn't say that. Maybe the one guy did, because he was assumed a conservative was racist. Maybe. But that's a big maybe.
Really want to live your life being told what to think or say by people who so clearly hate you for existing in the first place. The reality is thankfully much more bright for the consumers and fans at least. Because these attempted attacks at dividing people are starting to backfire on all these websites and the journalists who cling to them like flies on shit. People are waking...
I mean, that may be true, but you just don't... I don't know, you haven't...
The needle is repaired.
Oh, the needle is repaired, yes. Okay, so that was it. Yeah, I didn't talk to this guy yet, so I needed to do that in order to move on. Yeah, he just... I don't see how you can say this so confidently when it could just be a change in the landscape. Like... There's a lot of overhead to these big companies. that like independent creators don't have, or at least not nearly to the same level. So they got to be way more successful in order to do it. And it's just not working that much.
If you are
That's been
wise,
true
you will leave
since
immediately.
like Rev 3 Games, I think, was like one of the first ones.
To quell
I really noticed that
Never mind. I would rather
just started
them
going away
search
because of
in
that. Yeah, I think the landscape is changing. I think that's the major thing here, not so much an ideological thing. Because we have examples of independent creators with ideological bias that talk mad shit about, like, the other tribe. Yeah, they just don't have the overhead problem that I was talking about. All right, girl, what up?
My apologies. Everything, even the nightmare. Not that I could ever.
Yes.
I'm considering leave with the needle buried in my flesh. My destiny. It's all thanks. My name is. I'm considering with the needle. My destiny.
All right. Yeah, so we need to do that. Return to garbage track to find Millicent again. Don't forget to exhaust him. God damn it. There's no quick way to fucking travel that guy. Maybe this way is better? I don't know. We'll go that way.
Picking up and taking their money elsewhere, with viewership at places like YouTube and Twitter are at an all-time high because no one trusts these major publications anymore.
Comparing YouTube to a publication that exists on YouTube doesn't make any sense. Like, of course, viewership is better on YouTube as a whole. It's a platform. You would need to provide examples of, like, people who put their stuff on YouTube or something. That, like, an individual channel or something that does better than these big things. Comparing apples to, I don't know, a fucking basket of fruit. You're comparing a single apple to an entire basket of fucking fruit. Doesn't make any sense.
Oh, something. So I decided I've only.
I did a whole video about the Callisto Protocol and the shady tactics of Metacritic, a site which can control its scores and influence what people buy with simple stupid numbers, yet it's also a disingenuous website.
Okay, yeah. I'm interested to see how Metacritic fits in the ideological bias. Maybe we can find a way. Okay, it's now time to take on Redmane Castles. Okay, we're now supposed to be taking on Redmane Castle. Let's do it.
At its core, something like that Metacritic video that I made would never be produced at a gaming website these days. Because the reality is that a lot of these sites are in bed with one another in order to mutually benefit each other.
I mean, that might be true. It has nothing to do with any of the other shit that you were just talking about. And you need to demonstrate that. I don't know. I've heard people talk shit about Metacritic on, like, the big sites before. So.
Go on this soul, geezer.
Wait. So how am I supposed to... be sure to speak to Blade before fighting Radon. How do I actually get this fucking shit to go? What am I supposed to do? I don't remember what I'm supposed to do to make the fucking festival start. Should I pass time? Night.
And what sucks is that the people who are responsible for alienating the audience are almost never the first people to be let go. Just like how Frost was kept on longer than many of her co-workers who actually edited, wrote scripts, and, played the actual games, she was kept longer than them anyway. And look at IGN, where the full extent of their layoffs are still unknown to the people working there.
Yeah, maybe that's true. I have no fucking idea. Need to have some examples, I guess.
Not really the people writing these garbage hit pieces that are being let go, but instead individuals who are deemed expendable and are clearly passionate about gaming that are getting let go instead.
Wow, millennia painful waterfowl is not fun. Yeah, I'm not sure what you're talking about, my dude. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do here. After defeating the duo boss. Old Gator has a dialogue loop where he mentioned that he has no use for your net, assuming you're sector brownies. Go speak to EG at the Road to the Manor race. Okay. Where the hell is the Road to the Manor race? I have no idea what that would be. Okay. A nearby Carrier Manor. Is that up here? Carrier Manor was... No, that's a Fort Belfries. Was this thing Carrier Manor? Manor lower level. I mean, yeah. Okay. Road to Manor. There we go. We found it. Okay. So I gotta talk to EG here. Let's talk to him, I guess.
Greetings.
Nearby Carrier Manor. You should talk about a festival. There's also, I mean, I guess. I don't know. I'll just talk to all these people.
You like going only Blythe's made, to be honest. Blythe, Ranny's they were always when Lady Blythe and I, but none of us promised to look the man. Jaren before taking an ex.
I do not care about all this stuff. I just want to go.
Is a general who stood up to the sense, so as would perhaps go with Blythe. Should general perhaps.
Okay. Very good.
One ex-IGN employee affected by this layoff went on to say, and I quote, "I have no words, just a broken heart. After working so hard this past year, I've been terminated from IGN. I'm so crushed, I can't stop crying, I'm so confused. I moved to LA for this. I can't even say I'm looking..."
Well, I mean, what does this have to do with the ideology thing that he's saying? I'm confused. Yeah, I mean, it sucks that they have layoffs. Does this prove your point about ideology killing these websites or something? Or are you just trying to prove that, like, hey, shit kind of sucks at these websites? I mean, I guess. But you could have... I don't know. I'm not sure what the specific point is here, I guess.
For opportunities because I don't have it in me to want this anymore. I don't think I'll be able to bounce back. I think this is the end of my career in gaming. I'm sorry to all those that supported me.
So is his point here to just paint the picture that, like, yeah, this, like, thing is killing websites and that's really affecting people? This ideological bias is killing websites and that's really having a negative effect on people? I mean, I guess maybe that's it? Sure, I guess. I don't know.
Another employee let go also had this to say, and I quote, "I worked for 7 years to get my job only to lose it to restructuring. And it gets even worse when you realize Ziff..."
I guess I don't have the... what's it called? Equipped anymore. I thought I had it. There it is. The lantern. Oh yeah, I meant to change the potions that I have.
If Davis's CEO was paid $16 million in compensation last year. But sorry, Ziff Davis just doesn't have the money to apparently keep these IGN employees on the payroll. Of course they can't. And again, all of this happening on the same day as the Game Award.
What does this have to do with the ideological bias? I'm confused. It's just now we're like, yeah, like, oh, people got laid off. Here's some stories about what people said about getting laid off. Were they laid off because they don't share the ideology or something? Like, what's the Western politics part of this?
Big yikes. So while the industry elite came together to celebrate their achievements, drink champagne, and have the budget to invite people like Al Pacino.
So they... Again, the Game Awards doesn't celebrate the achievements of gaming journalists. It celebrates the achievements of video games. I don't think there's a single award that has anything to do with journalism. There's some, what's it called ones? The, like esports-based ones. So it's not all just game developers, but I don't remember one that has anything to do. Oh, there's a gaming personality, I guess. So that could be a journalist. Yeah, so I don't... These things seem unrelated to me.
Pacino to present awards, who, by the way, even said himself on stage that he doesn't even play video games. These
Okay. That's an interesting little anecdote. It has nothing to do with your thesis of this video. I guess you just wanted a place to express that fun opinion about how we've got some people in the Game Awards who aren't really into video games. Okay, sure. Great.
same companies also couldn't care less about the people who actually work to keep their sites up and running.
I thought you were mad at those people because they were telling everyone else that they're bad or whatever. They're ideologically biased. Which one is it? Do you want them to keep their jobs, or are they just dividing all of their fan base? Getting a bit of mixed messages here. You were like shitting on Adam Sessler and that girl from G4 for dividing their fan base, and then being like, aha, you're fucking losing your fucking audience because of it. Now you're like, just like, oh, people are getting fired. And I'm just like, well, shouldn't we clean house of the people who are being divisive, or no?
The video game industry is at its core becoming more rotten and exposed as the years go on. It's an industry full of the selected few feeding off the talents.
Which, he also keeps saying the video game industry is rotten at its core right now, when he hasn't actually talked about any video games. He's just talking about video game journalists. He hasn't, the first thing is like, it ruined modern gaming and journalism, when he's only talked about video game journalists. There hasn't been anything about, like, bias in the actual games themselves or anything. So, why do you keep saying the whole video game industry? Talk about video game journalists. Your title is completely wrong. We've got 2 minutes left, and you haven't touched how video games are being ruined yet? Just another fucking video that doesn't actually stay on topic. Okay, so we've got a boss door there, which is interesting. Let's see if we can go around and kill this other guy.
To faceless individuals crunching day in and out only to be thrown away in the shadows of celebration. The video game industry...
You weren't talking about... You were talking about people who very much had a face. Or no, were those people who got fired faceless individuals at these companies? I guess, was that his point? That wasn't clear to me. I don't know. Adam Sessler definitely has a face. G4 fell apart and he lost his job, but he's definitely got a face. And that was one of his examples. Alright, so we're gonna... Oh, I don't have enough. We need our boy Loodle. Come on, Loodle. You don't even have a head. Oh, that did, like, no fucking damage. Okay, that sucks. You're still doing that? Jesus Christ. Nice. That's what we're looking for. Alright. I figured if I, stunned her, I'd be able to, do a lot of damage. Since I do a lot of stun damage... Actually, she's just fucking dying now. God damn it. Yeah, you're just gonna spam that attack at me. Death. I missed. Good job attacking that statue, idiot. Killing it. Crystal release. We did it. Is there another boss door? Okay, it's it was still there for a second. I was like, wow, more bosses? Wait, where does this go? I'm not sure. We'd find out.
Needs a course correction. It needs to stop attacking its audiences with stupid brain-dead articles and tone-deaf opinions.
Okay.
For an industry that apparently champions diversity and identity, it's a hypocritical behemoth that is more than okay with...
The game industry as a whole isn't like that, and video games aren't like that. You didn't even demonstrate that journalism is like that. So, okay, sure, dude.
with throwing away the very people they deem to care so much about as well. Look, this video's not meant to be a gotcha moment or anything towards anyone. I hate it when people get laid off. I hate it when people can't freely express
Okay, yeah, sure.
themselves without being attacked. But the reality is that
I didn't see the examples of that, but okay.
we're living in a time where corporations are willing to so easily say they care about their fans and workers, while also dropping and blacklisting them, all while the liquor flows and the cameras roll.
Where was the example of the dropping and blacklisting? That would have been great if we went over a couple of those. That would have really helped your point.
And the celebrities come to visit. Despite what I've said and shown in this video, the gaming industry is worth fighting for, and I will continue to do so because without independent voices, this kind of crap will just keep on happening. And when the day of reckoning comes, the people who will be shocked at what's happening and are looking for someone to blame will only have to look into the coldness of their own mirror.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm just a little bit confused. We're not talking about games. We only talked about gaming journalists. So we didn't talk about how modern gaming is ruined. And even then, the journalism part, I guess we just meant gaming journalism. Wasn't there another... I came back through here because there was another way I wanted to go. We'll keep going, I guess.
Thanks for watching, everyone. I know this video was way more cynical than usual, but when I saw the IGN layoffs happening and I saw all the glitz and glamour of the awards, I couldn't help but feel that rage in me just brewing.
They're totally different things. One is celebrating the achievements of game developers, and the other one is a website that does gaming journalism. We're not celebrating gaming journalists at the Game Awards. These things don't seem that similar to me. I don't know. Like, I guess is he saying, like, IGN was partying because of the Game Awards? So it's disgusting that they were partying while they're laying people off? Is that what he's saying? I didn't feel like that's what he was saying. He just said, like, I saw one thing that's, like, positive that has to do with games, and another thing that's positive that has to do with games, even though they aren't really related to each other than games. Yeah, I don't get it. Who's the hypocrite or whatever that you're finding there? Is it Jeff Keighley? Is Jeff Keighley a hypocrite because he wanted to keep celebrating games while IGN was laying people off? I don't know. Those seem completely unrelated to me.
Doing ever hotter. We all deserve better. Anyway, if you like what you saw, consider subscribing or sharing the video.
Don't subscribe to him. Don't. I mean, you can. The person you should be subscribing to is me. I'm the smart. I won't ideologically abandon you or whatever. I won't make fun of you. It's okay. I got the good content. I got only 100-something subscribers. He's got 196,000. So he doesn't need it, but I do.
Video, and remember to use my code HelloEndymion.
You can use his code, though. I don't have a code for HelloFresh. If you want to use his code for HelloFresh, go for it. That's fine by me.
For up to 20 free meals with HelloFresh. Because you can't fight corporate evil on an empty stomach afterward. Thanks to my patrons, as always, for fueling the madness, and I'm ENDYMION. I hope the people at IGN who were let go find help, and hopefully they land on their feet. We all deserve better, and I'll see you in the next one.
Cool. Well, that was how Western politics ruined modern gaming and journalism. What did we learn? We learned it ruined modern gaming despite not ever talking about modern gaming. We learned that the Game Awards is the same thing as gaming journalists, I guess. A celebration of developers shouldn't happen while game journalists are getting fired, I guess. We learned about 4 examples of things that seemed reasonably unrelated. We learned that hating Republicans is bad. We also learned that this new build I have is not too bad. I like the Moonveil. I learned that I like the Moonveil. I don't know if you guys liked watching it, but, you know, there it is. Anyway, that's going to be it for me. Appreciate you all for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, all that fun shit. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace out.